And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. I'm Brea Thorn. And I'm here. I made it. Right when I start, this thing decides it doesn't want to follow me anymore. Not that it really needs to. It's like I'm moving around like when I'm unboxing something, but when I'm doing the desktop view, stuff like that, I do want it to track because it's a tight shot. Anyways, how's it going? I don't know. I'm 24 hours late. Sorry about that. I was just absolutely exhausted yesterday and the day before. Honestly, the whole thing with doing a full build, a 6-hour build stream when you have CFS, that would tire out anybody, and the kind of thing that would tire out an average person just decimates someone with chronic fatigue syndrome. Even if you caffeinate, do all that stuff, yeah. And then I had to work more on the well, it was all testing after that, but I had to do all throughout the weekend instead of recovering, because I was like way back on last Thursday. Instead of recovering on the weekend, I had to troubleshoot the PC, do all the cable management, do all kinds of stuff with it. And then Sunday we did testing, and then I was just tired yesterday and then Tuesday. Tuesday and the day before. Sorry, Monday and Tuesday. I was just like, man, I'm just going to rest extra so that I can be back 100%. Well, my version of 100%. Anyway, but here we are. Sorry about that. Anyway, say hi to everybody. What's up, Braxton? Apparently, you're going to be lurking tonight. Thank you for being in both chats. I appreciate that. Sick PCs, almost first, but you were the first after the going live thing went out. So there's that when the notification went out. But hey, so you know, let's think of it. Again, really? I'm not holding up my hand like that. I'm gonna talk. I have some words for DJI with their little camera thing. It's just too sensitive with that. But anyways, still, welcome in. Glad to see you, Mikey. What's going on? Bone Shock, how are you? Lone Vaquero, welcome. I had my earbud. What? You don't scare me like that, Vaquero. I mean, I have my levels like prominent in front of me because of that. I try not to mute. Oh, see, that time I did hold my hand up like this, so that was my fault. Revenge, welcome. How's it going? Revenge 1736, welcome in. Ruru 2, how's it going? Do you know Brondo's got electrolytes? That's what I hear. This guy what Bray craves. I'm okay. I drink a lot of water for one thing, but also I don't know about electrolytes. It's salt. Isn't it just salt? I'm here on time for once. Revenge, you and me both. But welcome over in YouTube land, of course. Braxton again, thank you. Dare D, welcome. Hello to you. Christopher Crawford, welcome in. How are you? Hope all is well. Doing good. Alice, welcome. 12 days. You doing a 12-day, basically 12 shifts in a row. That's crazy. Yikes. I'm glad you got some time off. That's good. How about we spend that doing some quality time with some talking about computer stuff. Okay, you know, not right away, obviously. I like to just shoot the breeze for a while whenever we get started, especially if it's been a minute, right? Bonsoir, what's going on? Richard Nicholson, bonsoir. What was I saying? Oh wow! It just flew out of my head. It's gone. Let's see. Finally, if I read through, maybe I'll remember. I don't know. No, never mind. It was a non sequitur, I guess. I did that and I did that. No, I don't remember what I was gonna say. That's it. You know, it is what it is. Oh, I remember now. Look, my hands aren't even up. Like you can't see them, and this thing just turned off. Like, hi. Are you going to be doing that the whole time? Really? Okay. Z-Man-Scar 715, welcome. How's it going? So I do remember. So, okay, let me ask you guys. Not a lot of people here yet, but I want to ask real quick. Out of the combined 27 people who are here so far, how many of you guys watch Game Grumps? Do you know what Game Grumps is? The Let's Play channel. A really long-running Let's Play channel. Sound off if you watch Game Grumps. What are they at now? 5.4 million subscribers. It's not a small channel. Okay. Game Grumps, well, for one thing, like, well, way before there was Game Grumps, there was Ego Raptor on Newgrounds doing stuff like Metal Gear Awesome, the Awesome series of animations. He was an animator. Doesn't animate anymore, gets a lot of comments about that, and he's fine with it. But anyway, so that's Aaron Hansen. And then the guy who's been on there with his other half of Game Grumps, because it's plural, right, is Dan Avidan, who's in Ninja Sex Party they're a joke band that's accidentally awesome. Anyways, whatever. I'm a big fan of theirs. Been a fan of Aaron since, the Newgrounds days. And we're talking about like early 2000s. Again, hold on. Oh, no, I'm right. It's fine. Maybe it's just like you're not moving, so I'm not moving. Anyways, what's up, TJ Sparks? So they've done a lot of things like touring. Like they'll go do live Game Grump shows where they're playing video games in front of a live audience. They'll bring up audience members to face off. Just fun stuff. It's mostly comedy. And it's just, I've never gone to a live show. Always wanted to. Of course, NSP, the band that Dan is in, they tour. They do stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff where they were touring. So Aaron started a touring production company called Really Good Tours or Really Good Touring or something like that. This is a channel with 5.4 million subscribers, by the way. Game Grumps is. I say that again. The YouTube channel for Really Good Touring has been around for a year, and it has 500 subs, and they've put up some pretty good videos with like some of the different people that they toured with. Aaron did this thing that was called Scribble Showdown with a lot of amazing artists. You had like Jaden Animations and Odd Ones Out, huge channels, and they're in the video, and it's like it has like 600 views. I'm like, what is happening? Man, sometimes like it doesn't matter. I mean, the thing is also he doesn't push the channel on their channel. He doesn't say, hey, go subscribe to my touring company channel. He doesn't do that. Maybe that's a cool thing. Maybe that's tasteful. I don't know. But he doesn't do that. But he should. Like, they had some good videos on that channel. I was like, what the hell? But here's the reason I brought this up. Was that in one of their latest videos, talking to NSP, Ninja Sex Party, right? Just asking them questions about touring, how they liked it, things like that, because they've done a bunch of them at this point. One of the questions they asked was like, if you could give advice to other creators that want to do tours, what advice would you give? And I was like, he didn't say musicians. They said creators, because they do stuff like Scribble Showdown, which is a bunch of animators or artists. Like 4 or 5 animators or artists, and it's like a game show. And I was like, do they want to have more variety of creators to do tours? And like, would I do something like that? What would I even do? Just go yell about computers on a stage? I've done that. I did that at PAX. It was great. But it wouldn't be a tour thing. So I was like, the Braithorn tour. What would it be? Chat, what would we do? What would we do on tour? What, like, as a tour, like, think about a stage, a show. What would it be? What other tech creators maybe involved as well? Like, how would we do that? Like live build-offs, I guess. PC trip. What would we? It was such a ridiculous thought. I was like, I'm gonna ask on stream. I'm gonna like it's a worm in my brain right now, just like not going away. What's up, Beto? How are you doing? Hope you're well. TJ Sparks, I know I said hi. I'm saying it again. It's all good. Alucard, what's up? Maybe PC troubleshooting and speed building or something. Well, the thing is, Alucard, what's up? By the way, they had the like LTT did the thing with Gamers Nexus and Jay's 2 Cents, where they did the they've had multiple creators actually do a thing where it was like what is it, tech support something. It was like versus, and LTT would like sabotage a PC, 2 PCs, send one to each creator, and then like they had to figure it out like on stream or in the video I don't remember if it was live or not. And it was pretty cool. That would be pretty fun, but I can't imagine doing that like 12 times in 12 different cities. That's what I'm saying. Like, what kind of tour? Because I'm like, look, this channel has like 500 subs. And this video with like this band has like 200 views or like 8 comments. I comment on there and it's gonna get seen. So like, what do I say? Like, hey, let's do a computer talking tour. What? It's not fun. It's not as cool. I can rip some mean karaoke. That's for sure. But like, that's not fun for tours. Like, that doesn't make sense. The PC troubleshooting it could be fun. Christopher, if we do a live panel, I could just do that at PAX and then not have to worry about that. Just one, and I've done it. I've done it before. It's fun. You know, we need Chopped, but for SIs with you, Steve J. Linus, as judges. So you have builders. Well, actually, Mikey, have you seen, well, you say $1 million idea. They just did that on LTT with multiple tech creators. They did do that. And then they judged them. So, yeah, they did. My buddy Danny was on there. Nerd on a Budget was on there. And Zach was on it. So, sorry. It's an amazing video. It's really good. Here's a fun drinking game. Take a shot for every time Zach says the word aesthetic. When we went and checked out his stream live, I put that in the comment there, and he was like, yeah, you know, I thought that was going to be scored more. Love Tech Joyce on it. Peter, Tech Joyce looked a little uncomfortable with it, but did great. Did great otherwise. Yeah, Peter, you got it. Budget build-off would be fun. The other thing is, it takes hours. Like, that was very heavily edited down. Now, what I did at Computex last year would have been fun, which is Cooler Master had a speed building contest. And I think I talked about this just recently, and I'm not a fast builder. I took 6 hours to build this PC. It's still right there, by the way. It's because I just got the new power supply and some 360 millimeter fans for the intake down here that just came in today. But I'm not. But I actually was pretty close to in second in my round. I was pretty close to. I was maybe 5 minutes off from winning my round. Already did it during the Apple event bingo. Ooh, yeah. Vaquero has a poll, so all right. Here. Black or white PC? There you go. Oh, let me bring up the form, the spreadsheet and stuff. Music's a little loud. Sorry about that, guys. It's funny, listening back to the build stream, I realized, dude, the music is really loud. Like, you guys are cool with that? Because I don't hear the mix you get. I know there's a way to do that. But it would, you know. I don't know. Peter, thank you for being in both chats. Do you think it's worth it to get the HomePod if I'm already locked into the ecosystem? I didn't watch the Apple thing. Is there a new HomePod? I don't know anything about it. Skeeter, what's up? Welcome. How's it going? Guys, you better be voting in the poll. I want to see engagement. We have 3 votes. And none for white. Y'all are breaking my heart. Don't change your vote for me, though. I hope I didn't change too much in the layout for the build stream. When it comes to doing these streams, I tend to, like, change things on the fly and be like, I'll fix that later. And then I forget. It just happens. Rutu White So 2023. It's not. It existed before. It got very popular, but then after, Thermal Take, what's going on? Happy Hump Day. Love the music, and yeah, it's tough on the levels. Yeah, I don't know. I have it a little lower than normal right now, but also I have audio ducking on my Rodecaster Duo. So when I talk, anything else lowers down. So I don't know. It can be hard to tell, but at least it helps if I have the music too loud. It will lower volume whenever I talk. So that's probably why you guys don't mind the music being a little louder, but I have it a little lower. I don't see the link to the poll. Sorry. It's just should be there in chat. But Mike, how you doing? Level's good now. Awesome. By the way, got the package. Haven't sent the other one back yet because I actually want to try the Dr. Power on it. I don't have any other PSUs to try, just that might actually trip something, and I want to see it. I want to see it in action. The thing is, somehow, I was gonna message you about this, but how our shipping industry is. How lovingly and carefully they transport our precious items. So the box had been knocked on the corner, and the part of it was a little open, and I guess it was in the warehouse as part of the shipping process, and a bunch of crickets got into it. So I have the box. I open it, and I was like, "What?" It's closed right now, and with stuff on top of it, so they can't get out. And I'm gonna go let them outside after. So yeah, it's just in there. I don't have any lizards, Rurutu, unfortunately. But yeah, Thermal Mike sent me this. I got a Dr. Power now, so I can test out power supplies, just run diagnostics and stuff. Pretty cool. Thank you for that. It's really, really appreciated. I was kind of I was very interested in it when you showed it to me at CES. So speaking of CES, it's coming. It's not too. I have to worry about TwitchCon first. TwitchCon first. Then I can really get into the CES planning. But it's coming. I can't whisper. Another account is using my phone number. Trying to figure that out now. Oh, okay. That was for Mikey, right? Will Baggins, what's up? Is it best to buy a pre-built PC at Micro Center or online? If online is the best, if online, what is the best site would you recommend? Says Will Baggins. Will, that's the thing. It's different for everybody. What's good? What might be perfect for you might be the worst option for somebody else. Somebody with with an iBuyPower, that wants the most price to performance, so they should go to iBuyPower probably, and not Falcon Northwest. That doesn't make Falcon Northwest bad in any way. It just means they're not a price to performance builder. They're a boutique builder. So it depends. So what you do is you fill out the form, Will, that is linked in the description right there, and it's the first link in the description. Fill out the form. It'll get you on the list to get some help. And that's how we do it. Let me see if anyone has filled out the form recently and see what we're doing here. I'm still surprised nobody else does this, by the way, on stream. It's genuinely, at least for me, it's a lot of fun. And because there's so many of you guys who keep coming back even when you don't need help, I'm guessing it's fun for you too. So that's neat. Anyway, Mike, I wasn't saying anything bad about the package, of course. I was just freaked out a little bit by the ingress of some creek. Everything is safe. Everything is obviously fine. They didn't eat the Dr. Power or anything else. It was just a little bit of surprise. I was like, oh, hey, guys, why don't y'all chill in here for a bit? I got to go live. And I'll free you guys later. We do have chickens. I just thought about that. We do have chickens. Maybe it's a delivery for both me and the chickens. I don't know. They might like the crickets, but are they crickets or grasshoppers? Because they don't make they both make sounds, don't they? Man, I don't know. We are nerds, though. Of course, it's fun. Yeah. Zintek, welcome. What's up? How many Michelin stars would Falcon Northwest get? Well, they might lose points on the in the edibility category, Rubutu. But for service, that's a star right there, I guess. But Will, I hope I answered your question to your satisfaction. I mean, really, whether you want something from Micro Center or from a website is really up to you. If you live near a Micro Center, you might find it more appealing to buy it from there. But sometimes you pay a little bit more because of their $250 build fee. But if you offset that with a bundle deal, it can be, you know, pretty good. You also don't really get much of a warranty from them unless you pay a couple $100 extra bucks. But with a system integrator online, you will at least get a year warranty regardless of which one you go to. And for some, it's 3. There's even a couple with lifetime warranties. Only one that I would really recommend, though. But yeah. Man, I would love to be able to buy from Falcon Northwest. Sadly, it's out of my price range. I mean, Bone Shock, you got to remember also, like, for anyone who wants a white build, that you can't go to Falcon Northwest. They don't do white PCs. They just don't do it. Now, you can get crazy UV printing on your PC from them. And if you like aluminum, not raw aluminum, but like if you like the material, it's like it's light, it's strong, all that. Well, it's not that light with how thick the plates are in those cases. I'll say that. But anyways, they got some really cool form factors. But man, the cost of entry, pretty high. You know? You got to be cool with that. And able to be cool with that. Let's see. Looking at the form here. We had Celidus during the build stream on my birthday. They filled out the form. So I don't know if they came back. Celidus, if you're here, let me know. Michelle Phone, what's up? I think you're good at this. Not a lot of people who can talk to people about it with patience for the streaming platform. Hi, by the way. Hi. How's it going? And thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. The only thing I think, Michelle, that can make me a little bit bad at this sometimes is my sense of humor can be at times a little, maybe a little bit abrasive to someone who has come from another community where they were like, they felt like they weren't welcome there. And I want everybody to feel welcome here. And it's sometimes when I make jokes about somebody saying, like, I tend to not jump on someone just because they don't already know the things I know. That's just a dick move. You don't do that. But it might come off that way if I make a joke that I think is funny about it. So I've been trying to be more careful about that. That's why I don't roast anyone anymore if they do something wrong on the form, even though, I mean, that's just like following instructions to fill out a form, right? But like, I still, you know, I don't want anyone to feel unwelcome here. Acerbic is a great word, actually. And someone who has an acerbic tone, it can be abrasive at times. So I think the words the words both work. But Celidus is here. Thank you for being so patient, Celidus. I appreciate that. I will mark you down there. Perfect. And look at that lovely 9-month subscriber badge. That's a huge thing, and yeah, that is something good to know about yourself. Being aware is amazing. Yeah, I try. You know, we can try. That's what we can do. We can try to be aware of the things we do, but often we're a bit too close to the issue of ourselves. I haven't experienced that from you, but I'm used to online people. Yeah, I think we all build up a little bit of armor for that. Lone Vaquero says sugar cookies are among my favorite cookies. Is this something you put a lot of consideration into, Vaquero? You got to tell me. Like, what's the list? What's the top 3? Robert, what's going on? Hey, it's Tuesday on a Wednesday. Taco Wednesday. Who's having tacos? We almost did a taco night tonight. We didn't. But we haven't. I'm looking. We're going to do it tomorrow. It'll be Taco Thursday. Although that's more of a second edition or advanced Dungeons and Dragons term rather than just messing with the word taco. But either way, we might do that tomorrow. And I like our homemade tacos are really good. So I'm looking forward to that. You've always answered my questions with patience. I appreciate that, Daredy. Your appreciation is appreciated. So Celidus. we're going to get into this here in just a sec. Let me get the form up here just so I can refer back to that if I need to. We are, it's faster than I would have expected. We are approaching the end of the year in just a few months. I'm going to need to make some changes to the format, and what I might do is we might have a talk about that. We might like figure out some ways to. I want some feedback from you guys on how the form could be improved. Those of you who are regulars, who hang out here all the time, bless you, by the way. You hear me go through these forums all the time. You hear the questions I ask repeatedly, so we can apply that to it. I just had some Chips Ahoy. The chunky ones are pretty good. I'm not really one for crunchy cookies. I like soft cookies, but chunky Chips Ahoy, I used to go in for those. In November, Black Friday, I'll get a PC, aiming for 5090 or 4090. I got 3,000 saved at the moment. Not bad, Will. Wow, that's a really solid budget. Just keep in mind, there are 5090s that by themselves cost $3,000. So, it all comes down to whether you need anything like that. If you're trying to just game at 1080p, you can leave the 5090 behind. Unless you're like a professional gamer, like it's just quite unnecessary at that point. Okay. There are times when someone says, I got whatever budget or whatever, and I'll just be like, okay, you can have whatever you want. Let's have some fun with this. Let's figure out, But if you have it to where you could have a better overall PC and as much graphics processing as you could possibly need with a 5080 or something like that. Remember that a 5090 is the same price as two 5080s. And it is not double the performance going to a 5090, even though it's double the price. Unless I'm talking about gaming. If you're talking about LLMs or running AI stuff, right? Or if you're talking about any other productivity thing where you need the VRAM, the difference in performance is not really there. The only thing doubled between the 5080 and the 5090 is the VRAM. I'll tell you how the form can get better. Micro Center affiliate application. If denied, stop doing them. Fix Amazon affiliate account for parts list. Use that thing I sent you. Yeah? I cannot with the craisins. What happened with... Oh, okay. So two all-time favorite cookie is the elusive Snickerdoodle, then the sugar cookie. Then after that is the oatmeal craisin cookie. It's like an oatmeal raisin cookie with cranberry raisins instead. After that is a classic chocolate chip cookie. I've had a white chocolate and cranberry cookie, and I don't like white chocolate, and I don't like cranberries that much, but that combo somehow worked. It was a sugar cookie with white chocolate chunks and dried cranberries, and it was actually kind of fire. Birdie5 says, curious, do motherboards exist that can handle 2x 5090s? Yeah. There's a lot of motherboards where instead of being, it won't be 16 lanes on each one, but if you're running two 5090s, it's not for gaming. It's just not. It wouldn't work that way. So it just bifurcates it to where you have two X16 PCIe slots that run in X8 whenever something is in the second slot. If you put anything in there, it will cut the bandwidth of the first slot in half and share it. So yeah, that's how that works. I'll be sidetracking with Cookie Talk. You're good. I would say I started it, but it was Lone Vaquero, I think. Unless someone started with unless you said something earlier. No, yeah, it was blame Vaquero. That's what it is. Anyways, so what's the speed difference with 8x lanes of PCIe 5 versus 16 lanes of PCIe 4? That's the same bandwidth because PCIe doubles bandwidth every generation. It really depends on how the GPU handles switching to just having 8 lanes. Would be happy with a 5080. I want a game at 4K 60 FPS. No one can guarantee you, Will. Nobody can guarantee you frame rates. Don't go in it for that. Because someone can guarantee you a frame rate and then you have 30 Chrome tabs open and your frame rate tanks because your RAM is just like clocked, and you do use your regular system memory in gaming too. So yeah, your frame rate is you're the person. What is it? It's PEBCAC. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. It's the person using the PC that can tank their FPS faster than any other element could do it. Also, Bergie, and I'm guessing Mikey too now, because you're thinking about it. If you look at, I guess, 9000 series Threadripper, I think it's PCIe Gen 5. There's a few x16 lanes, so you get full bandwidth for 5090s if you do it that way. But I mean, you need to be a professional at that point, because you're not just talking about, $4,000 to $6,000 worth of GPUs. Your CPU can be $6,000 by itself. That's a lot. That's a lot of PC. Neotech, that's going to be no. Not into build Redux anymore. They went back on a lot of stuff they told me they were going to fix, and in fact, they made everything a lot worse. And we've had a few people come in interested in a specific build Redux PC, someone who had even ordered one. And when I showed them how much better of a deal they could get at a different system integrator, they canceled their order. But also, there's just some bad elements to build Redux that I'm not a big fan of. But you get more PC for the same amount of money at several other system integrators if you're looking for price to performance. I think I talked to you about my PC purchase, so I should check in and say I bought a pre-built from Costco 2 years ago, Black Friday. Spent about $1,900 out the door. For $1,900 at Costco, you probably got a lot of computer. I hope it's been running well. It was after a talk with you on stream. Interesting. Okay. Thank you. Are you still in favor of Main Gear? Main Gear has, I used to criticize a few things about Main Gear. They've done a big turnaround on a lot of those things. Main Gear changed their policy on power supplies because of me. And I'm not bragging about that. The only reason it's because of me is because there's nobody else doing what I do, really. In on YouTube anyway. Or it's just a sole focus on pre-builds and system integrators. And I was like, guys, you're putting a 500 watt power supply in a PC with a 3070. That is less than the minimum recommended power supply. I don't care what kind of testing you've done, unless you test it for 3 years or something. That is not sufficient because you're not smarter than NVIDIA's engineers. You're just not. I'm not either. So I listen to them. Manger is actually pretty local to me. A kid I went to high school with worked for them for a few years. Nice. I've been looking for a reason to make it up to that area, and both Main Gear and Paradox Customs are in that area, so we'll see. Thank you, you're awesome. No problem, Will. Just be sure to fill out the form, and I'll help you find the perfect PC just for you, for your budget and for your needs. That's what I do. Asus ROG i12700, 1 terabyte hard drive, probably SSD, right? And 32 gigs of RAM. What GPU, though? Michelle. Thanks again, Neotech. No problem. Neotech, if you're looking for... It sounds like you're looking for a pre-built, and I don't think you read the description or you know exactly what's going on here. The title, even. It's PC Matchmaking. What I do here sounds like it's what you're looking for. You basically fill out this form. You tell me what your budget is, what you're going to use the PC for, what resolution that you want to play at, like 1080p, 4K, whatever, 1440p, and just things like that. And I will help you find the perfect pre-built, or if you're doing a DIY build, I'll help you put together an optimized parts list. And that's just free. I just do that here. It is what I do. So go ahead and fill out the form. It is linked in the description. It's the very first thing in the description of the stream right there. Artemis DD. That's the one. It's the one in the description right there. That's the one you want. But what's up? Welcome. That's why the stream elements, and that's the thing is, guys, if you watch streams pretty consistently, and you're like me, if I'm watching somebody else's stream and I see something from Stream Elements or some other bot, I just glaze over it. I don't read it. And so I can't get mad at other people for doing that in my stream. But Stream Elements has been in chat saying, if you're looking for help finding the right pre-built PC or need a custom parts list for a DIY PC build, click the first link in the description and fill out the form. That's the YouTube one. That's right there telling you how to do it. And then the one just came up on Twitch too. Oh, okay, I'll go ahead and allow that through. Sure. Particularly, you didn't recommend it, but it wasn't in my budget to get a custom use. Okay, all right. I do remember them. Yes. Little history there. Yeah. Bray, can you check out the new pre-configured gaming PC section I sent you and tell me if I should add anything? Okay, I could do that. I was going to do it like on my own time because from the specs that you sent me, I had a few notes on that, on things that I was like, why would you pair this with that kind of thing? I think you were just testing stuff though. But yeah, GPU is 4070. Okay. That's still pretty recent. Neotech, Alexander PC still at the top for you. Neotech, it might not be right for you. That's the thing. I don't do a tier list. There's no tier list because that tier list that I have would be different for everybody. Okay? One SI is not right for every single person out there. That's just how that works. So yeah, still great, but I'm not a gamer. I got it more as a streamer. Oh, okay. And then I don't stream much. That's okay. You've got that. Some people are like that with their gym memberships. You know, it's okay. We all do things with good intentions and don't always follow through. Oh, you got it, Mikey. We could take a look at it live if you want. But we got something to do first. Okay, I gotta hydrate. 1 sec. Okay, so Celadus, let's get into this. Yeah, Zentek storage is literally the easiest thing to upgrade in a PC. I'm not the kind of person who says, like, everybody should build their own PC. Y'all know that very well by now. But I'm fairly certain that almost anyone could add storage to their PC. Given just a well-made enough video that is understandable and or easy to follow and all that, which is what I'm trying to work on. Let's just center that. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Let's see here. So, settle this. Let me ask you this question real quick first. What is the actual maximum budget for your build? For the form, it's a range of 1,500 to 2,000 that you chose, but your actual budget is in there somewhere. A solid number of the maximum amount you're comfortable spending for your PC. 1,800, 1,650, whatever that might be. So what amount would that be for you? A solid number, and you're not going to want to change it later because then I have to redo or choose something else or change things in a custom build or whatever. 2K max, not over that. Perfect. Okay. Let's see what you're trying to do with it. So just gaming in ultra wide. Okay. So that's going to be, if you choose a 1440p vertical ultra wide, then that's harder. That can be, it's in between the difficulty of or system resources needed between 1440p and 4K. And then 1080p vertical can be closer to 1440p essentially. And look at this, 2 white builds today. It must be my birthday. No, wait, that was, oh boy, someone's yelling at me. Why did you yell at me in here? That's not what this is for. Why are you yelling at me? Who was this? Artemis. Stop yelling at me. That's not what this part is just to put a company or something. It's not for a sentence, but that's okay. But I know you're here, so I'll mark you down. I filled it out. Yeah, I see. All caps on the OUT. Uh-huh. I see you. Okay. All right. So, 2,000. Yes. And a lot of RGB in white. And you want it pre-built. You're ordering it. You're willing to wait for a week. You want this very fast. And you're ordering within a month. So once you order it, you want it there within a week. Sure. Price to performance. Okay. You don't need Wi-Fi, and you want to be able to upgrade your CPU over time. Easy enough. What we're going to do right now, because we're looking straight price to performance, we want to get the most graphics possible in this, but we don't want to have like, well, we're trying to get we're trying to get the most performance out of this, depending on if you're getting a 1440p vertical ultra wide, right? When I say vertical, I don't mean the monitor is vertical. I mean the number of pixels from top to bottom is 1440, like 1440p, but it's extra wide. So there's even more pixels, right? That's your ultra wide there. So with that in mind, you need some pretty solid graphics there if you want that to run well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a comparison here. I'm going to compare two SIs. Bergie yells, no yelling. YouTube Universe Crash Course. Did I miss something, Bone Shop? Oh, and mine is RGB too, but not super pretty. Oh, well, you could change that. There's there's upgrades you can make to your PC to make it a little more aesthetically pleasing if you wanted to. Artemis, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not actually upset about it. I was just like, hey, what is this? Why are you yelling at me? It's just fun. It's just funny. Okay, so we're going to compare two price to performance oriented system integrators here. We're going to compare because the thing is, I keep saying, you know, Skytech's got the best prices right now. Well, let's actually look. We're going to compare them with iBuyPower, see with their pre-configured systems here on the pre-configured systems on Skytech versus iBuyPower's ready-to-ship systems. The reason is iBuyPower's ready to ship. Although I don't think my discount code's working with iBuyPower right now. I haven't talked to them about that in a while. But we'll still look. I want to at least have the comparison. Around $2,000, so we'll just do this right here. Oh, I need to do this first. It's gonna reset this. Is it? No? Okay, cool. Not bad, not bad. That's a 9700X and a 9070, 9800X 3D and a 5070. That's a little less on the gaming performance, though. I mean, even with that GPU, with ultra-wide resolution, the 9800X 3D is not going to have a lot of work to do. Except, well, let me ask you this. Settle this. What games are you... Wait, you're running a 4070 Super right now? Hold on. Did I miss something? You're getting a whole new PC, but you already have a gaming PC. You're not just upgrading the one you've got? Why not upgrade the one you have? Is that going to somebody else? Zeno, welcome. You're not late. It is totally fine. It's 3 years old. Yeah, but you can upgrade it. Like, if you have a solid CPU in there and the rest of the system is fine, you can just swap the GPU and get a massive upgrade. Like, is it having problems? Is everything working in your PC? That's one of the best things about PCs, is that, I mean, 3 years is not that old of a PC, I'm going to be honest with you. Unless stuff is just not running, or if it's having problems. Like, if it's running really hot, some maintenance could fix that. Can you stack the codes with your discount and the discount with providing your email? I don't know, Bergie. I don't know that. That would be a question for Skytech. Vero, you moved the PC to your top of your desk. Awesome. Are you going to tell me that you carpeted your desk first? That you put carpet on your desktop before you did that? Just an extra thick shag carpet on there? Okay. I was looking. Ah, there we go. That's really nice. 7800X 3D and a 9070 XT for $1899 in the 011 Vision. That might do the trick for you. Oh, boy. Here we go. Okay, so we looked at these. Let's take a look at I'm already here. Okay. I was already here. Display goes dark from time to time. What do you mean goes dark? One display goes dark. It could be that display then. It could just be your monitor, and a new computer wouldn't fix that. Sonic 1000 says, I installed the carpet inside my case. Nice. Skipping the middleman. I like that, Sonic. I don't like that. Don't do that. Coalition Chris, thank you for the lurk. What's up, bud? Today I was at Walmart and saw a Western Digital Black 2 terabyte SSD for like $80. Which one was it, though? Shag Carpet PC isn't... Yeah. Is that the next? Is that your next one, Mikey? It's not monitor. Okay. Okay. Could be GPU then. Issues with that HDMI port, I suppose. Could be the cable. Hard to say. Anyway, let's just see what... Wow, they're look at how bold they are, putting the $5,100 PC first. And it has a 14900 KF. Okay, buddy. Sure. Not what I'd recommend, but okay. I mean, we've had Core Ultra 200S for almost a year now. And they're still pushing out 14th gen. Let's bring this down to where it needs to be. Bring this up if we can. No, that's not where I put it. There we go. Okay, my scroll wheel does this, and that's really bad. It should be moving this. That's really annoying. Sort, price, low to high. There we go. And I have to go over here and do this. That's annoying. It's just an annoyance. The site works. That's just annoying. Okay. 7800X3D, 5060 Ti 16 gig. Sorry, but a 9070 XT beats that pretty easily. Driving home from work. Okay. Okay. You're just an audio listener. This is a podcast now, Chris. All right. Shag Carpet GPU backplate. Yeah, throw some Pokemon in there too. Little tiny Pokemon. It's the tall grass now. You mentioned carpet, by the way. I was reformed until you said it. You weren't reformed. If it's that quick, you're just fooling yourself then. Let's see. We should start a podcast, Mikey. Unfortunately, that's something that if I'm going to do, it has to be with a sort of another creator, someone in a neutral place. Otherwise, it could be seen as like a conflict of interest, essentially. That's the way I've looked at it so far. It's just like, wait, you make content with this one SI and you also recommend them? That's it's a little suspicious. What's going on with it? What's going on with that? You know what I mean? So, would be fun though. It would be fun, but not something I think I can do because of that specifically. Yeah, that looks insane for that price. These look really cool for the price. But what are you getting? 9070 XT and a 7800 X3D for $2049. That's pretty sick. Not in the colorway you want, though. That's a 5070 and a 7800. They're really slinging these 7800 X3Ds, aren't they? Interesting. Oh, damn. All right. Okay, that's hard to beat. That is a 9800 X3D and a 97 XT with a 2 terabyte M.2 drive and 32 gigs DDR5 6000 for $2100. That's crazy. It looks good too. Wait, a podcast where you interview SIs as a second part of System Integrators Weekly, bonus episode or something could be cool. Well, that would be different, yeah. Where I keep forgetting to DM you to talk about TwitchCon visit. I'll try later on Discord. Yeah, go for it. Hit me up, man. I asked about the coupons because Skytech has a 9800 XT with 9700 XT with 9800 X3D with a 1000 watt power supply and King 95 case. Okay, I hadn't gotten that far yet. So let me see. Oh yeah, it's right there. Okay. Let's see what my discount gets this down to. I do like the way that looks a little more. I love the King 95 in white. It just looks so good. Yeah, never mind. This is right up there with it. Actually, they're the same price. I just hadn't scrolled down far enough yet. But good looking out. 1000 watt power supply. This one has, it doesn't say yet. It's down here, 850 watt. Channel well, 80 plus gold. They're both gold. They're both Gen 4, 2 terabytes, 32 gigs, DDR5, 6000. This is an insane spec. So what I was asking earlier, settled this. I was asking earlier what games you play. Or what games do you normally play? What are your mains? It is pretty. It is. I don't know if you're talking about the other one, though. They're both good-looking PCs. Like, they debuted those new cases at this year's CES. The new iBuyPower cases, and I think they look really good. I think they're really nice cases. But the King 95 just wins for me, you know? This might actually have equivalent or maybe even a little better cooling. Maybe. Hard to say. But also, this looks like it has like 0 cable management space. Yikes. At the moment, I'm playing Borderlands 4. How does that run on a Radeon card? Let me see.
Hello, guys, and welcome back.
Let's see.
We're going to take a look.
This is TerraWare. Let's check out their video here. Sorry about the flashing. Did not mean to do that. So this is them testing 9070 XT with a 7800 X3D. So pretty close. 9800 X3D is actually going to do even a little bit better. But at higher resolutions, it won't make as much of a difference if you were to switch CPUs there.
On the RX 9070 XT.
Sorry, TerraWare. You have a lovely voice, but I'm going to go ahead and turn that down. 1080p max. So yeah, this game apparently is very hard to run. 1080p max settings, 61 FPS. And this is max FSR. Quality, 84 FPS. So, wait, is that? That's average and 1%. Oh, no. Average is here, 93 FPS average, actually. And performance mode FSR, 110 FPS average. This is at 1080p. Now, if we go to 1440p max preset, no FSR, it's under 60. Don't want that. So this is the high preset instead. It gets to 63 average at this point anyway. 91 with FSR quality with high settings. And 112 with FSR set to performance with high settings at 1440p. This is with frame gen, apparently. 168 average, 1440p high settings. This is 4K. This is gonna be brutal. 4K. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, FSR quality. Oh, I guess they just didn't run it without FSR. Zeno, it's... You need to stop yelling, okay? This is something that a lot of people have been yelling about with Borderlands 4. It's apparently very poorly optimized and really hard to run for like any system. So that's their problem. That is Borderlands' problem. I don't know if the guy is like the head of the company that made Borderlands, the studio that made Borderlands, but he was like on Twitter talking about how it's your problem or whatever, or if it's like, hey, don't run it at 4K. Just run it at 1440p. I play at 1440p and I love it. It's like, no, dude, just optimize your game. Jeez. 71 with 4K high FSR set to performance. Here it was 61. And remember, this is going to be better on yours because you're not running 4K. You're running ultra wide. Now, if you're talking about super ultra wide, like the Odyssey G9, then that is double 1440p. I mean, you're getting there, but that might be more than 4K. I actually don't remember. It's one or the other, obviously. And yeah, Mikey's got a great point there. It's not a competitive game. It's a single player story game. Just run DLSS, frame gen, all the stuff, or FSR in this case, because 9070 XT. But this is 4K is very, very hard to run. This is it with frame gen, FSR. Remember, frame gen for AMD Radeon is not like multi-frame gen with NVIDIA right now. Multi-frame gen has multiple AI generated frames between each real frame. Multiple. This is just going to add one between each frame, essentially. So 133 at 4K high settings with FSR set to performance and frame gen. And there you go. That's awesome. Are you kidding me? Like, listen, for those who have never used multi-frame gen, and that's not this, by the way. I'm talking about multi-frame gen, the thing that is vilified the most. For those who have never used it, I understand. It's real easy to jump on the hate train. Like, it's tempting. And it sounds like, laziness and just AI, yada, yada. It's kind of insane to experience. And I personally, in my opinion, I loved it. It runs awesome. I've not needed anything greater than a 5070 Ti in this system, which has been for a while my primary gaming and streaming system. Okay? And it's done everything at 4K, zero issues while streaming. It's awesome. But I don't mind frame gen. I found only a couple of instances where it had any negative effects, very rarely. And then now if I was really like the kind of reviewer where I'm not sort of reviewing for the average person, I'm reviewing for the uber nerds, right? Where it's like you've paused the screen, you get a freeze frame, and you just pixel peep it, and you find all that, they look at that, like got some shimmer there, or that pixel shouldn't be there, it should be up here, or whatever. Then yeah, maybe I wouldn't like it, but that's not the kind of person, not the kind of content creator I am. I look at the big picture. And if NVIDIA gets their pricing under control, which they're not making much effort. Okay, things have gotten a lot better since the first half of the year, for sure. Okay, as long as prices, like maybe if they go down a little bit or they don't continue to get more and more insane. Like the 5090 obviously is priced up for most people, but to me, I've always been telling most people you don't need a 90 class card. It's okay. That you don't need that. For the average person, if you can get more performance for less money, good. Yeah, good. That's great. That's awesome. I like that. There have been plenty of people who are like, I want a 5080. I'm like, you don't need one. And you need other stuff. It's someone who would have like, I need a PC for gaming, and I also want to do streaming and editing video and stuff like that. I'm like, well, we need to put more money towards your other stuff. It can't be a 5080. But a 5070 Ti does pretty much everything a 5080 does. Just like 10% fewer frames per second. Still well above 60. You good. That kind of stuff, okay? So remember that frame gen, whether we like it or not, it's not going anywhere. But the thing is, right now, a lot of people this year, a lot of people jumped on the hate train for multi-frame gen in the same way that they did with DLSS and ray tracing. And how are those two things doing now? Ray tracing is in so many games. Back then, it's like, oh, there's never going to be any games. There's no games for this. Games. Where are games? Now, there are some games where you can't turn it off. Good job, I guess, NVIDIA. And DLSS is awesome. We're in version 4 of DLSS, and it's insane. It's so good. It is so good. And I invite you to go back to like 20 series reviews, 2080 Ti, 2080s, all those reviews for those where DLSS was a newer thing, ray tracing was. Go listen to a lot of some of these people are my friends, they're my peers, they're my friends. I respect them, I like them, but they jump on they don't just jump on the hate train. They start up the hate train, and they're pulling that train horn, and they're like, "Let's go, everybody! Let's hate on this new technology." I never stopped liking new technology. I am optimistic. I like it. I think it's awesome. And multi-frame gen could end when it gets even more refined, is going to mean more performance for less money, and I'm always for that. Now, knowing NVIDIA, it might not mean that actually, because they'll just pocket that money and continue to not really push the hardware side of things, or they'll move to not really pushing the hardware side of things. I don't think they've really done that yet, other than for the price you're paying for a 5080, it should be 24 gigs of VRAM, honestly. That's it. And there should never, there should never been a 16 gig 5060 Ti. It should have been, there shouldn't be a choice between 8 and 16 gigs. It should have just been a 12 gig card for the 5060 Ti, honestly. Just things like that. I'm not the kind of person who thinks you can't game on an 8 gig GPU. Because if you believe that, you need to go look at the Steam hardware survey right now. And look at how many tens of thousands of people, no, more like hundreds of thousands of people still gaming on that hardware with 8 gigs of VRAM or less and having a great time. Now, I don't believe it that these cards should have more VRAM because I think everything needs 16 gigs of VRAM or more. No, it's just because of the money they're charging for them. It should be higher. I think I went on too many tangents. Too many tangents, not enough time. I also have Game Pass, so I play a wide variety of games. Settle this. Okay. So with that, if you play a wide variety of games, you could potentially benefit from that 9800X3D. The good thing is both of these systems have it. The only question is, the main thing, the main holdup for me is this. Okay? I can turn the music back on. The main thing for me is that there are a couple of options here that have... No, wait. It lost what I did. It took off all my settings. I'm gonna yell at. I'm gonna yell at Jeff. I'm gonna yell at Jeff now. It used to keep the settings at least, unless I'm wrong. It was slower though. It was a lot slower. Okay, yeah. There are a couple systems here with a 5070 Ti. However, for some reason, they refuse to have a pre-configured system with a 5070 Ti in white. They don't have that. It's just black PCs. And you chose a white PC. I'm zoomed in. There we go. That's the wrong button. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Now we're looking at it properly. TL Foreman, what's up? Sorry, for a Sonic 1000. We're back to wood paneling. Might as well have the shag carpet too. Plus the smell after you smoke next to it for 3 years. Absolutely. I can testify to what Braythorn said, says TL Foreman. I'm gaming and streaming with a new PC he spec'd out for me with a 5070 Ti, and it's running great. Hell yeah. I hope that I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. Richard Nicholson, what's up? It's hilarious you have to literally come out of the closet as a supporter of frame gen. listen, everybody, I have a confession. I like frame gen, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say it. Honestly, you do need to experience it. Roby said the same thing. Like, you need to experience it for yourself. I'm not saying Roby is a big proponent of it. He said that too. Arcad V, what's up? Welcome. It's only going to get better. The leaps have been nuts. They have been. Yeah. They have been cooking. I hate to say it. They've been cooking over there at NVIDIA, as some people still say for some reason. The minimum specs are 2070, 5700 XT, Intel Arc A580. An A580? Yeah? For reals, though? They recommend an RTX 3080 or 6800 XT or Intel B580 for Borderlands. I keep hearing people whisper about a B770. Still, nobody's going to buy it, or fewer people are going to buy it. I mean, maybe. I would hope so. Anyway. Also, the 5070 Ti came with the 7800X3D. There's not enough difference in gaming for that to make it. The difference with the 7800X3D and the 9800X3D is not in ultra-wide gaming. There's like zero difference there. Zero. The difference is in some 1080p gaming. If you have a 5090, then you'll really notice a difference. Okay? All right. Stop. Or start. Okay. Or the difference is in other applications, productivity stuff, because they made big improvements in the 9800 XT when it comes to thermals and frequencies, because they can deliver more power, they can get higher frequencies, all of that, because it's better thermally designed. But in terms of gaming performance, at anything above 1080p, there's almost no difference. And at 1080p, there's not that much difference there either, other than with a 5090. That's the only way you can grow that delta at all. But yeah, 5070 Ti. In this system here, pretty sick looking, by the way. I do like the geometric feature cases. I really want to get my hands on one of these and try it out. Although maybe it doesn't actually look that great to build in, but looking at it is nice. It really doesn't look like there's a lot of covered area here for cable management. And don't put an MATX thing here. Hold on. This one, 7800X3D, 5070 Ti. 32 gigs DDR5 6000. 2 terabytes NVMe Gen 4. 850 watts for 5070 Ti is fine. Yeah, this is $20.99. Look, the 5070 Ti for NVIDIA is the GOAT this generation, in my opinion. If you can get it for $750 if you're doing a DIY build, which you can do in a lot of circumstances now, you go with the 5070 Ti. From SIs, the pricing isn't going to be like that, because they would have purchased, a lot of them would have purchased in bulk or something when prices were higher, and they have to run through that stock, and then they make a purchase when the price is lower, and then then their prices can drop and they run through that stock, but they can't be constantly shifting their prices. Whatever pricing changes in the supply chain, something like a grocery store can change their prices a lot easier. It's lower cost items and a multitude of them. But like something selling a luxury, something with that's a higher buy-in, they can't constantly shift their prices around to adjust to market conditions that easily. So, still though, what I'm saying is, although it's nice to see iBuyPower has a system that is equivalent, and it is in white, this right here is not a 5070 Ti. And in a case like the resolution you're talking about, ultra-wide or 4K, in ultra-wide or 4K, the 5070 Ti can pull away from the 9070 XT. And because you're going to play a variety of games, there are some few games that can run a little bit better on AMD, but the majority of games will run a little better on NVIDIA. That's a really broad generalization, to be fair. But I don't know. I hear of fewer games that are like, oh, it runs better on Radeon. But really? A custom build with a lower GPU, and I could add my 4070 Super. We'll settle this. There are SIs that can just build a PC without a GPU, if you want to. But 5070 Ti will outperform a 4070 Super by a wide margin. And let's take a look at that. Let's see if this update, if the new PC thing is even worth it. Let's take a look. I don't like the changes they made to the GPU comparison chart over at Tom's Hardware, but it does work for this. We'll look at 4K Ultra for the comparison. 5070 Ti is up here. 4070 Super is down here. Under the 5070. And yeah, this is why I'm saying, this is a great way to show this, because 4K Ultra, it'll squish this down. Maybe we should look at a different one to maybe space that out a little more. And yeah, that does help a little bit, I guess. So we shouldn't. Okay, this is 1440p Ultra, right? Yes. Okay. So you can't expect to necessarily get this high of a frame rate. This is a this is an averaged score, by the way. Okay. Meaning like Rocket League might be in there and Cyberpunk. So the lower Cyberpunk is going to have versus the higher, it's going to average it out, right? And there's multiple games they have in here. And this also is not including DLSS, I believe. But the 5070 Ti, the difference between the 5080 and 5070 Ti is way smaller than the difference between the 5070 Ti and the 5070. Look at that. Look at that. This is a great visualization of what I've been telling you guys for a long time with the 5070 Ti. It's just goated. And of course, the 5090, of course, is way up here, but it's also double the price of the 5080. The 5080 is only $250 more, or is $250 more than the 5070 Ti rather, but it's so much closer. It is so much closer. Way closer. I don't know. The way I emphasized that was wrong. I did things out of order, okay? I'm just saying, 5070 Ti is way close to the 5080. 5080, honestly, should have been up here. It should have been close to the 4090 IMO. That's just, having the 4090 still beat the 5080 is a little bit embarrassing because they don't have 30 series stuff here anymore, do they? They don't. But the 4080 beat the 3090 by a lot. The standard 4080, not the Super. The 4080 beat the 3090. It beat its pants off. But what happened this generation? 5080 way below the 4090. So the 5070 Ti is the one that has a big jump over its predecessor. It's close to the card that was a step above it, the 4080 Super. It's right around that performance. That's how it should have been with the 5080 versus the 4090. 5080 versus 4090, they should have been right around the same place. At least. Okay? I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. Anyways, but if you're okay with not getting a white PC, I would say this would probably be the best candidate here. If you do want a white PC, you're down with you like the, well, actually, I can show you here. They have the comparison here. The 9070 XT without DLSS, because DLSS 4 beats out FSR in quite a few things, but it's not a huge margin. FSR has made huge leaps. Okay, 5070 Ti and 9070 XT very close to each other, and between these two PCs, this one has a 9800 X3D, but at your resolution, that doesn't make a huge difference in some games, but it could make some difference in Borderlands 4. I'm gonna recommend the King 95. There you go. Now, it is $2,099, right? It's a little over budget, but there's two things to consider here. First off, I have a discount code. Secondly, they have one, and it might stack. I don't know. Let me actually ask this. I will ask, I'll shoot a text over to Jeff real quick. So they say, oh, this only says only 14 left. This doesn't have a special code to it. If you want one with an extra code, there's this one. The Eclipse Lite 2, similar specs, same CPU, same GPU, same storage. Let's see the RAM real quick. DDR5, 32 gigs, DDR5 6000. And actually, this has a 1,000 watt power supply, whereas this one also has 1,000 actually. No, so you're good there. But this one has an additional coupon on it that might stack. I don't know. I've heard that rumor that AMD GPUs run FPS style games better. Not necessarily. And honestly, it really depends on the pricing. People ignore price brackets and also ignore the fact that there's not an AMD GPU that beats a 5080. Going out on a limb, says DJ Simple Green. 5080 shortcomings in performance gains is a 16 gigs memory. DJ Simple Green, do you know how much VRAM the 5070 Ti has? That's right, 16 gigs. They both have 16 gigs of VRAM. For the price of the 5080, it should have been 24. I thought you were saying that the 5080... Oh, I get it. I mistook you. I thought you were saying what it loses out in performance, it gains in the VRAM. And I was like, but it has the same VRAM. I misread what you were saying. Okay. I'm gonna say I'm iffy on that. A lot more CUDA cores in the 4090. Still a lot more. That makes a difference. So yeah, it's also in cores. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So there's this one. This does have an additional coupon code of 150, and that might stack with mine. But let's see how much my coupon codes takes off of this by itself. If you like the aesthetic of the other one, you can grab the other one. But I'm going to add this one to cart and see what it comes out to with my coupon code. Whose supers aren't far away. We'll see what it does with 24 gigs soon enough. Well, I hear that they're maybe before the end of the year. Also, I hear they're going to be mid-2026. People keep giving misinformation or wrong information. We honestly can't rely on any of it. I'm just going to go with the logical assumption and say CES, perhaps. But we have no way of knowing. No way. Code Swarm takes off $63. So that brings it down to 2036. But here's the other thing. Settle this. Even if the codes don't stack, you have free shipping. So there you go. It is free shipping. And that would be the price for either of them, unless the codes do stack. But shipping is free. Some SIs do charge for shipping. This one doesn't. So you can keep that in consideration. Oh, well, it's $36 above budget, but I don't have to pay for shipping. So that should work out. I'll send you both of these systems, and let me text Jeff real quick. Okay, we'll see what he says. Why don't you try stacking? I don't know how. I wouldn't know how to stack a code because I entered this promo code. Well, you know what? Let's try it. It was Lab 150. Let's try it. I guess I'll do that and then delete this. Lab 150. What's that supposed to mean anyway? Yo, it does stack. Nice, Bergie. There you go. And another $50 coupon for giving your email. Look at that. You can freaking just stack codes right there. Let me just tell Jeff not to worry about it. Maybe Jeff is going to be showing up. Veto said, if I already own PCIe Gen 4 M.2, is it worth upgrading to Gen 5 when I do my new PC build? For gaming, not really. At the moment. Unless direct storage becomes a thing, which is always going to happen next year from what I hear. Oh, next year we're going to do this, or is game studios working with us on the direct storage and blah blah blah. It just never happens. But that brings us down to $18.86.99 plus free shipping. Sure, why not? I'll have to remove this though. First mine, SWARM. Nope, does not work. Settled says, the PC I have now, I bought at CyberPower, and I wouldn't recommend them to anyone. Yep, iBuyPower, there was a while during the pandemic where they were okay. And they had stuff nobody else had, and they just had some of the best deals. Like, it was kind of insane. And I would recommend them. That time has... They actually had decent customer service at the time, from what I was hearing. That has gone away. Maybe a lot of people left during the pandemic or afterwards and they never recovered. I don't know. But it just seems like CyberPower does not care. I have not been recommending them for a long time now. And it's unfortunate because there are some people who, when I was first starting to do this, they went with CyberPower because of me. And if that customer service, like if it's great at one moment and then it's bad a year later, well, that person still needs to work with them. So it sucks. I don't like that. And I would like companies to be consistent. But I haven't been recommending CyberPower for a while. Okay. I mean, that's, yeah. I guess I got to take that out of... I got to take that word off of the blocked list. It was from back when all this stuff was happening and everybody was talking about it. I was like, all right, I get it. Like, just went through a lot. I'm also maybe not going to be a content creator anymore because I can't afford this anymore. I had to buy 2 PCs because of them. Yeah. But yeah, so if you want that price, I mean, that's just a price it's impossible to beat that price. So I don't know, if you like the King 95, go for that one. But like, damn, this one right here is an insane deal. 9800X3D, 9070 XT, 2 terabyte Gen 4 storage, 1000 watt power supply, 32 gigs DDR5, 6000. All of the things, 1 year warranty, including shipping. Let's just remove this. And all of that with these codes stacked comes out to, if I can remind myself real quick. Also, I saw you say and 6% tax. That is not included in the budget you give me. And that's very clearly laid out in the form when you're filling it out. But there you go. $1886.99. There you have it. Let me add my tag on the back of this. That may automatically add my code for you. If not, it's just SWARM, SWARM. There you go. Have that baked right into the crust there. That's a heck of a deal. And okay, so my code. There you go. There's your codes. Oh no, we're 21 cents over. Oh my God. What's up, John? It's like that scene from Inglourious Bastards. You like that deal? Damn good deal. Oh, that's what's up. Over $200 saved as a back alley hookup these days. Bet. That's something. FGN, what's up? Welcome. Oh, there's an ad break right now. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay. So Settle This is good to go. Artemis, are you still here? Artemis DD. If you are here and ready to go. So it's for gaming. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we can do there. How that stream on Sunday go with your new PC? I would have watched it, but I had too much fun at a wedding the night before. All good. It went well. It tested everything fine. It runs Adobe Premiere Pro like a dream, which is the priority. I ran a couple of game tests on it, and it ran awesome. It's just like, it's not what it's for. But yeah, it ran great. And God, the airflow, the temps are so good. Like under full load, the CPU was at like, what, 75 Celsius? It was super good and not loud. Like the fans were not loud. It's really, really awesome. I cannot fault the airflow of the Tower 600 in any way. It is so good. And I love that. Why am I ear itching like that? Just ear itch. I clean my ears all the time. Like obsessively. Itching. How am I able to click the link? It's in chat. I put it in chat. Like right after you said, I know, the link is right there. I'll do it again. Here you go. Here, I got you. 1 second. 1 second. Let me do it this way, okay? So you don't lose it. There you go. It's in your whispers on Twitch. So you don't have to worry about chat, or you don't have to worry about saving it. All right, Artemis is here. Cool. So now this is an instance of, okay, so let's talk about sort of the contrast between the previous build and this one, okay? And this is something that I run into a lot. So it's nothing to worry about or anything, but this is something I do run into pretty frequently. So the contrast between a PC just for gaming with a 2K budget versus a PC where you legitimately want to do a lot of stuff with your PC, but it's a tighter budget. That's totally valid and normal, but what we usually need to do in that situation is set you up with a PC where you can maybe improve it over time a little bit, because out of all these things, you might find that over time you find certain ones more important. And you can sort of build upon the PC in that direction, right? The only thing that we can't guarantee you is what you asked for right here. Nobody can guarantee this for you. I want something that will last at least 5 years and not become slow. It's like going to a dealership and saying, I want a car that will last me for 10 years and never break down. They're like, we want that too. We would love that. It's electronics. Any PC can become slow if you don't perform regular maintenance. The last part of that sentence is the real important one. If you don't perform regular maintenance or have somebody else do it. Any PC can break. In 2 years, in 4 years, in a month, you're running electricity through it. Those magic pixies are chaotic and can sometimes do chaotic things. So I don't feel comfortable making any kind of guarantee in that way. I would not do that. So just going into this, anything that you buy that runs power through it, you are buying at your own risk. Like it has a warranty. There are warranties available, of course, and you have tech support from the system integrator. It's one reason to get a pre-built. One of the best reasons, or one of the main reasons people want a pre-built. So they know they're going to have something that works. But that warranty does run out. There are some SIs some system integrators, some PC building companies that have longer warranties than others, or just different warranties. But yeah. So let me ask you this. Out of this budget range here, what is the actual maximum budget for your build? The maximum you're comfortable spending for it, and I request that you not change this later. Just whatever the max is. If it's 1,500, cool. If it's 1,350, cool. Just need to know what it is. Thanks for the honesty and realistic transparency. Of course. No problem. I don't mind improving and swapping. I'm just scared of building from scratch. The unfortunate thing is, generally, building from scratch will get you more for your money. But we're trying to do a lot here, and like just to give you an idea, just a PC that is dedicated to video editing, that doesn't need to be good at gaming, doesn't need to have all the I/O that you need for streaming, like a nice motherboard and all that, just needs to be able to crunch out videos. Can be, by itself for a pretty solid one, like $3,000 by itself. And then you make other improvements to make it better for gaming. Well, generally something that's good at video editing can crank out some FPS for sure. But streaming, now I got to spend more money on the motherboard and get better I/O on there, more USB ports, because I'm going to be plugging in this Stream Deck over here, a Stream Deck pedal under my desk. I'm going to have webcam, audio interface, all these different devices you got to plug in for streaming. You need more USB ports than if you were just gaming or just doing video editing. All these different elements are why I ask what you want to do with it, because there are other improvements you can make if you want to for those specific purposes. And I'll get into that once we get to that point. Right now, all we got to do is get you into a PC, get you working with a PC, not into it. They're very small boxes, but yeah. Adrian, what's up? Thanks, Dan, for your help. Went with the SkyTech game. Okay, cool, awesome, happy to hear it. You're not near a. I don't know what it is, guys. You guys have seen it when I go on a tear with a certain SI, but SkyTech has been killing it for a while right now. Like, although I'll say the Ready PC, some of these were pretty nice. Like this one was very competitive with SkyTech. They just could not beat it at all. They could not beat it. SkyTech has been like absolutely ridiculous with their deals. But Adrian, I'm happy to hear the PC's been working great. That's good. Just add extra parts in case. Oh, sure. And settle this. You're very welcome. Bergie, it's not a universal power supply. UPS stands for uninterruptible power supply. Like you try to plug something in with like European plugs into a North American UPS, it's not universal. You'll find that out real quick. It's uninterruptible power supply. Let's narrow down to gaming and streaming. I currently stream on one mini PC and game on an Asus TUF laptop. So many cables with a dual setup. We can do that. Let me see. Do I have another one? Because I put it into this PC, so I can't show that. Hold on a second. Stay right there. There we go. I'm just going to take it out of there. 1 second. And honestly, I don't need this thing in my video editing PC. I just like to put them into computers. This actually is more beneficial in terms of demonstration. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So this right here, like this is an example of something where if you're getting something where, okay, I need to make sure that I can game at 1440p with no stuttering, none of that stuff, because I'm going to be doing this live on stream. The PC needs to be able to game and stream in terms of computational power, right? But that might mean you can't get the awesome motherboards that you want because that's what has the rear I/O, like all the different USB ports you might need for all your different devices. Something like this on Amazon is like $30, and it is plug and play, super easy. This right here gives you just a few extra USB ports. See that right there? That can make all the difference. So, and trust me, if you've been streaming for a while and you're streaming on a mini PC and a laptop, you have been hurting for good I/O. And hubs, not great. Hubs are not great when it comes to I/O. I mean, there are some, like a Thunderbolt hub, a Thunderbolt 4 hub can be really cool, but your average USB hub is not what Elgato devices like to see, for example. Or your audio interface, it'll introduce latency. So yeah, something like this that you install yourself in minutes. Do you see how quickly I removed it from the PC that's right next to me? It's the video editing PC I built last Thursday. I threw this thing in there because I have them. I have a few. The other one, I couldn't find it. But I just like to have these because I like to have way more I/O than I need. That's because I've been streaming for a long time now, for years, and you develop that anxiety of wanting to be able to plug in any fun new streaming control device or whatever that you need to or you want to. But that's, again, a $30 upgrade that takes minutes, and most anyone could do it. The only thing you need to know is whether you can use a PCIe X1 or X4, whether you have the right lanes for that. I would just recommend getting the X1 one like that. That's all you need. You don't necessarily need anything really fast. Just USB 3.0 speeds, and I'm probably getting too into it. Anyways, there's a little bit of nuance to it, but yeah, Elgato doesn't like to see anything. But I don't know. I had problems with the 4K whatever it is. Yeah, I had problems with that. I got my Skytech O11 Vision Monday, but between college and cleaning out space in the spare room to make a home office, I still haven't gotten out of the box. Opened the box, looked at it, and patted it, but it still sleeps waiting. Oh boy, Arcade, that's got to be nerve-wracking. You do need to make sure it's in good shape. You need to unbox it to make sure everything's in good shape. Like nothing, the GPU didn't break loose, none of that. Please do that sooner rather than later. If you keep it there for more than 30 days and you don't check that and you find that was damage in shipping, they would probably rightfully charge you to ship it back to them to get it fixed. Most system integrators, if there's anything wrong with a PC in the first 30 days, they'll pay for shipping both ways. That's most PC building companies will do that. Yeah, so it's really easy. Actually, did I record myself installing that or did I install it off stream? But I mean, I've put them into PCs before, I think, on stream. So it's really, really easy. So let me look through my list here. I know that in your form, you chose that you wanted a boutique builder. That's not the right one in this case because we're trying to cram a lot of necessity, a lot of use cases into $1,500, right? That's totally possible with you having narrowed it down to gaming and streaming. Totally possible. But I do have good news for you. When you say graphic design, what kind of graphic design applications are you going to be using? What programs are we talking about? Are we talking about like Photoshop? Yeah, CyberPower PC and CyberPower power supply stuff is different. Yes. Which O11? Skytech uses the case name. They have 8 different O11 configs. I'm liberating it from its cardboard prison tomorrow. Come hell or high water, my PC will have a desk, be on a desk and powered on. Hell yeah. Awesome. For the desk, if you haven't already ordered one, I did a video you might be interested in with what is it? FlexiSpot. Sorry, with FlexiSpot. How did I forget that? I talked about them forever. With the FlexiSpot E7 Pro Plus, it was a really good price for a really good sit-stand desk. I liked it a lot, and it beat the pants off a way more expensive IKEA one. Like in terms of performance, like of actual durability, the build experience, all that stuff. Way better. Way better. Features, all that. Illustrator and Adobe. Okay, so just Illustrator. So let me show you this right here. If we go to... So this is Puget Bench, and they do a lot of content creation related benchmarking. They're kind of an industry standard at this point. So if we go to... So this is Adobe Photoshop, which runs differently than Illustrator. But the funny thing about Photoshop is the #1 consumer desktop CPU for Photoshop is not an expensive one. It's a 9700X. 8 cores, 16 threads. It beats out a nearly $700 CPU. This thing's like $200-something. It beats out a nearly $700 CPU with something of a margin there. It's the #1 CPU for using Photoshop. Now, will that fully translate to Illustrator? I don't know. Yeah, it's all Photoshop, Photoshop, Photoshop. There was one thing. In filters, it gets beaten out by the 9950X3D by 2 points. That's it. But overall performance, 9700X is just the tops. It's the best one. If you were to describe PC parts as car parts, how would you relate them? I think you asked me that before, John, and I just don't think that... I mean, I don't know. It's... With a car, it's like so much of it is just the engine. It doesn't really... I don't know if it really translates that well. Like, that's the main thing, is like the engine. I guess there's parts in the engine, but they're all just like... mostly just pieces of metal configured a certain way where I mean it's just a big air pump. That's what an engine is. Add a little fuel, make it go explodey, right? I tried describing it to my brother when he was looking for a PC, and he's a former mechanic. There's lots of wires and connections like in PCs. There you go, Warm Eagle. I guess so. I think we're looking for basically like an analogy, right? Okay, so if you talk about Photoshop, it's going to be 9700X. I have to imagine it does pretty well in Illustrator, but I don't have Puget Bench results for that. That's what I've got. CPU is the engine, and the GPU would be like a supercharger or turbo. I don't know. I mean, maybe the CPU is like... I would say this, actually. GPU is the engine, and the ECU is the CPU. Or CPU is the ECU, because it's what tells it how to do things, how much fuel to send in, how much air, because of how much air it's getting, and just things like that. So ECU is the CPU, I guess. It's just not quite right, because the CPU does more than that. But when it comes to gaming, the engine would be the GPU, because that's what gets things moving. One doesn't go after the other over the name. A friend of mine in Michigan had a name for his car dealership, and a dealership in Idaho with the same name didn't like it and had to change it. Oh, yeah. Well, it's a different category of product, Skeeter. I mean, if you're talking about 2 car dealerships, that's very different. If you had 2 system integrators trying to use the name CyberPower, one of them would have to change it. Yeah, there you go. Mikey agrees. Power Surge is NOS. You might blow it up. Nitrous is not flammable. It's not flammable. Like that blue flame they had in there, it's not flammable. Brakes are fans. I would think the fans and radiator would be the fans and radiator. Like, you don't need to change the fans. That's just the fans. The breaks are I don't know, ad blocker and antivirus. Keeping you, that's seatbelt. That's your seatbelt. Never mind. Anyway, I'm doing a build for somebody right now. So the reason I say that is we're going to be looking for price to performance, Artemis, for your PC. Price to performance mean like we're going to get the most we can out of it in terms of the gaming side of things, because it doesn't matter how good your PC is for streaming. If the games run like crap, nobody's going to want to watch that. You're not going to want to play that, right? And if you're having a bad time, your viewers are too. Trust me, my viewers have had plenty of bad times whenever I was using my old PC for streaming and the stream wasn't working and there was all these problems. But so we start with the core of it, which is the gaming aspect. And then with tools like this, with add-ons like this, you can make it better for streaming. Motherboard's the car itself. CPU is the ECU. RAM is like the injectors. I don't know that I would say that. I don't think RAM is like the injectors. No. SSD is a gas tank. I mean, the capacity, it has capacity, I guess. It doesn't really work. It's an analogy that does not really hold up to scrutiny, unfortunately. The power supply is tires? No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. No. There's nothing for tires. Because, like, maybe the power supply is the engine. No, the power supply would be the car battery and the alternator system. Mouse and keyboard are the tires? I don't know, Simple Green. When I'm driving a car, I'm not using the wheel and tires to steer it. The steering wheel and pedals make sense for mouse and keyboard because that's your control surfaces, right? That's your interface with it. Mouse and keyboard, steering wheel, and pedals. And if you are a connoisseur, a stick shift as well. Anyways, but can y'all let me get back to this, please? Anyway, we'll take another look here. I really wish CyberPower was good. I would like to have a third company for high volume stuff. I just don't. I love that they have the strawberry milk Y70 PC. I just wish this thing was good for streamers. It's not, because you can't put something like this in a Y70 case. You can't do it. It's not allowed. It doesn't fit. Anyways, all my settings are gone. Yep. But that's good because they're different settings anyway. We're just taking a peek here, seeing what they got. And we'll sort it by price high to low. There we go. So what do they got here? 7700X. There's a 9700X system with a 9060 XT. But considering video editing and graphic design, I would suggest NVIDIA. 4060 Ti 16 gig, not 8 gig. For 5060 Ti 16 gig would be ideal. Nope. Ain't got it. Okay. They do have a 16 gig 5060 Ti in this one, but it's a 7700X. And I don't think that's on this list. I don't think that's rated here. I would have to look at the 9000 series one. Yeah, it's not on here. So what we do is this. Here we go. Do that. I've searched it before, clearly. Of course I have. Okay, that's not helpful. This might be exactly what I need. 9700X in Photoshop. Where's the 7700X? Really? You're not going to have that there? Wow, that's a 7950X. But that's the thing. 7700X does better in Photoshop than the 7950X. Why don't they have that on here? They're driving me crazy. This is the main article. Let's see. There's more up-to-date ones, but there we go. There we go. That's what I wanted. There we go. 9700X in Photoshop does beat the 7700X by a substantial margin. Not the most substantialist margin, but there is one. Photoshop just likes fewer cores. Look at this. 9700X, 9600X, then the 9950X comes in. It's crazy. Yeah, 9600X beats a 9950X in Photoshop. Now, the 9950X 3D is in second place now. But anyways, so let's compare the deals we just looked at with SkyTech here. Just see what we got. You said you also want it in white. Let's see what we can do on that. Oh. That's a 7700X and a 5070. That's pretty good. Oh, they got the rose gold, though. Nope, 14700F. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. There we go. 9700X, 5060 Ti, 2 terabyte Gen 4 drive, $1,500. That's what I was looking for, iBuyPower. Where are the white PCs? What's going on? Not that. Yeah, it's all the way down at $1,299, which is under spec for what I'm looking at. I mean, 4070 Super, to be clear, great GPU, but a 7700 and a 4070 Super, you can get more performance with this. What is this one? No. No. 7800X 3D, though, with a 5060 Ti, is not going to be good for video editing, like at all. But no, this right here is crazy. We can actually, I think, go a little higher than this because of the extra discounts that do seem to stack. Let's see what we can do. Nope. All this 14th gen Intel. Get that out of here. No. We were close. We were close, everybody. Okay, pull the trigger. Thank you again. Hey, congratulations, Celadus. You know, people don't come back and tell me anymore. I never get that anymore. At least not during the stream. So that's awesome. Congrats. The CPU. Okay. We're going to break is when the computer goes boom and stops. Well, that would be just Wet Willie. You'll find that that's kind of a similar experience between a car and a computer. The thing is, you're not in the computer when it goes boom and stops, like you are with a car. So a little safer in that situation. Okay. Out of everything I have seen, believe it or not, because there are more expensive systems. Oh, that's a 9900X, actually. That's probably going to be better, except for the fact that when you run a game, it's basically a 9600X. And also, for graphic design, it is slower. As is shown here. 9900X is down here, whereas a 9700X is up here. And do they both work for Photoshop? Yeah. Can you do all the stuff in Photoshop that you want to with this one? Yes. And the 9900X, I don't have a chart for Illustrator. It might be better for it. I don't know. The downside is When you're gaming and streaming at the same time, you will have more performance from the comparatively cheaper 9700X than you do from the 9900X. Now, why is that? This is a 12-core CPU. That's an 8-core CPU. Well, the explanation is a little bit complicated. The 9900X and the 9950X, and also their X3D counterparts, okay? 9950X3D, 9900X3D. Basically, Ryzen CPUs use a chiplet-style architecture, okay? Where you have multiple actual CPU chips in there, and each one can have up to 8 cores. With a 9950X, like the highest end one, or 9950X3D, both of them have 8. But with a 9600X, each of them has 6. Where does this become a bad thing? Well, the downside is the way that AMD for 9000 series did it is that all of their CPUs that have multiple chiplets on there have core parking when you turn on a game. So when you turn on a game with the 9900X, half of your cores shut down and give you a 6-core CPU to work with. Whereas the 9700X just uses one 8-core chiplet. So it never shuts anything down when you start a game. You have 8 cores, 16 threads, you're good to go. I wish there was a better way to put that for someone who is, I don't know, newer to this stuff. But basically, when you turn on a game, you have half of your cores. You have half of your CPU running with a 9900X. But with a 9700X, the whole thing stays running the whole time. You don't lose any cores or threads or any of that, okay? Just put it that way. Also, that might have something to do with why the 9700X is better for Photoshop. I don't know. Just chiplet to chiplet latency, something like that. I really don't know. But it only has one chiplet to run. It is packed with 8 cores. It just does the whole job. That's it. Yeah. Now, with Ryzen, you at least have socket AM5. You will be able to upgrade to the newer, I don't know if they're going to be 10,000 series or 11,000 series, or they're going to start the numbers all over again. Who freaking knows with these guys? AMD, not great at naming things, let's be honest. And they're on a real tear right now, I'll tell you. But they're rumored to be planning on potentially having 12 cores per chiplet in the next generation. So it's either one or the other, or it's going to be both. They're going to put 3D V-cache on both for any X3D chips with no core parking, which would be amazing. That would be amazing if they did that. So core parking. So you have an upgrade path there where you'll be able to drop in that next generation CPU and get a huge bump in performance potentially. I hope that wasn't too much information. Well, that was perfectly explained. Got it? Awesome. I was worried about that. Skeeter, I will check my posture. It's terrible, but I'm glad I checked. Will be my first AMD GPU. Celadus, they're really the price for performance kings right now. And they have been, 7000 series was the same thing. Man, that 7700 XT was a legendary deal once it dropped to like 300 something bucks. It was just, it did everything in 1440. It was so really good. Not everything. You couldn't max out your graphics, which you shouldn't do that anyway. Adjust your graphic settings in your games, people. No ultra settings. That's for benchmarking and for taking screenshots. That is not for fast-paced gameplay, okay? Or for the average user to do. It's too much resources for not enough visual improvement. Arcade V says, I ordered my Skytech on Newegg. Oh, okay. Newegg takes the order and then sends it over to Skytech to build and ship. There are several Skytech rigs on Newegg that are not on the Skytech site anymore and are marked down. Right. Well, Arcade V, that's the thing. Newegg takes a big fat cut out of the money that you pay. So there's another big difference there is that Skytech has to make that up somehow. And it's very common. A lot of system integrators do this. This is how they do it, how they make money selling through a third-party reseller, and why I never recommend it. That money comes out of the quality of your components. You get maybe a lower-end motherboard, maybe more bargain RAM or power supply. As long as something they can test and that it works, like they have to keep they're not running charity. Like they got to make a profit. Any company in America does that. Like that's how companies run worldwide, actually. So When you get it through Amazon or Newegg, you are paying potentially the same amount of money and getting a cheaper computer. I never recommend that. It is you're selling yourself short. It's always better to get directly from the people building the PC for that reason. I mean, Newegg and Amazon take a fat cut out of that profit margin. There would otherwise be very little left for the system integrator to keep the lights on. Has Newegg improved since Gamers Nexus did his YouTube video on them? I have to assume they did, Celadus. I don't know. I mean, they made some promises, and a lot of people who were in a backlog of RMAs and stuff got taken care of, but that always happens. Any company under scrutiny is going to turn into the best company until they're not anymore, until there's no more attention on them. And Gamers Nexus is going to have to do it all over again. But the only reason Gamers Nexus even did that was because they got scammed. So we have to hope that they will get scammed again, or they're keeping an eye out. I wouldn't be surprised if Steve is just keeping an eye on things with Newegg. But anyways, so yeah, not the 9900X necessarily. Until AMD gets rid of core parking, it's just hard to recommend for a gaming and streaming system if it's going to be the 9900X or 7900X. You go with the one that at least give you 8 cores. If you want the higher end CPU, you don't really need that except for video editing, which you can build up to later, maybe with the next gen of AMD CPUs. Which one was it? Where was it? 9700X, 5060 Ti, 16 gig right here. But there was another one. It was the 7700X 50 and 5070. That's a tough one. You're going to get better 1440p performance out of a 5070. You are. Just fact. Than you would out of a 5070 Ti, 5060 Ti. I wish that these weren't Intel builds, Intel 14th gen, because they're the right colorway. But what I'll do is this. By the way, this shows $15.99. I have a discount code, and it stacks with this $100 off. That's why I was going higher price to see if there's anything there that was like, okay, this is the one, but I don't. This is better for video editing. It is. The 9900X is better for Adobe Premiere Pro. 9900X is up here. And the 7700X and 9700X are down here. That's a pretty solid improvement right there. Is it more of an improvement than... No, Photoshop. It just tears through it. I just don't know for Illustrator. For Adobe Illustrator, prioritize the CPU. This is an AI overview. I don't know. It's basically reading articles and spitting something out. Prioritize higher core, single core performance. Over a higher core count. This other one is just talking about Photoshop. And they're referencing the charts I have on the screen right now. It's not helpful, Google. Okay. Superworkstations.com says for Illustrator, they recommend an 8-core processor as well. Okay. Okay, so what I would say, you're still near the top with the 7700X. You're up there. I would say the bump up in GPU for that gaming performance is potentially worth it here. for the 7700X and the 5070. And the reason I say that is you're going to keep that GPU, but I'm recommending a potential upgrade to the CPU in the next generation. So spending less on the CPU now actually makes a lot of sense. Put it towards the GPU instead. Because your other option that I'm looking at here, and I know these are not white PCs, and I know that's what you wanted originally. I'm working with what they're showing here. This is a 9700X system, but with a 5060 Ti. 16 gig, and that's nice, but it is a solid step down in GPU. And if we look at the comparison here, oh, they don't have it on here. That's cool. Tom's Hardware is slacking, man. Let's see if there's an update if we look at the direct link. Maybe they haven't updated on Zach's Tech Turf here. They usually have these charts, so... Oh, they're here. Okay, they're all up here. 1440p Ultra. They still haven't updated it. What freaking gives? I guess they never got a 5060 Ti or a 5060. Sorry to hear that, Toms. Tom? I don't think we're on a first name basis, honestly. Man, I'm looking for like results that are just eluding me right now from my normal sources. Anyways. I also wish the Azure 2 wasn't 14th gen Intel. That would be awesome, but oh well. Now, there is this 7700X 5071 right here, actually. It is way cheaper. What's the difference? 7700X 5070, 12 gig, 1 terabyte, Gen 4. Why is this one similar, but so much? Well, it's not that much more, actually. Oh, it's just, I guess it's just the style of the case. Depends. I was not aware of the fat cut, or I would have gone for another build that was available on the SkyTech site. Yeah, I would have told you. There's certain things that I tell myself I need to say out loud more often. Because whatever I end up recommending here, I'm not the boss of you. You buy whatever you want. I just can only give my input, and there you go. But also, I don't have a discount code for you with Newegg or Amazon. I don't have a discount code. I'm supposed to have affiliate codes or affiliate links that will help me out, but doesn't really help you out. With SIs, there are some SIs that have said, hey, we can just give you a thing. I was like, what about a discount for the customer? Oh, we don't really do that. Well, then I don't do it either. You know, there's only one that I've done that with, and that is Starforge. And that's just because of their unique setup with a lot of the owners of the company being creators, OTK and all that. It's different for them. Coupon codes work different for them. It's just a referral. It's not a discount code. But I like to save you money as a means of you supporting me rather than costing you money to support what I do. I'm not here being like, drop those primes and throw some bits and yada, yada. Here's some funny sound effects. I mean, I've done that sometimes, but I'm not pushing that ever. It's just a thing that exists. It's through you saving money on your PC that I'm able to do what I do. That's how I prefer it. Anyway, with SkyTech directly, I have a coupon code there. So yeah, let's say this. Artemis, between these two, I really wish it was not 5060 Ti with that 9700X, because that's better storage too. I wish it was the 5070, but what are you going to do? Between these two, I know they're not white PCs. Again, I do apologize for that. All the white PCs in this price range have 14th gen Intel, and I'm just not going to recommend that to you. Between these two, whichever one you like the look of more, because it seems like the parts are the same between the two. Yeah, I'm going back and forth between them, and oh, this one actually has an 850 watt power supply. I'd probably go with that. That just means you'll have more upgradability down the line. It's probably not as aesthetically pleasing, but you have an 850 watt power supply instead of, this only has a 750 in it. That's a little weak for a 5070 IMO. Does Artemis live near a micro center? Bergie, the form asks that question and they put no. So I'm going to say no. Yo, what's up, Jeff? How's it going? This is my second PC Matchmaker of the day, of the night, and it's the second SkyTech one. Can y'all stop having kind of the best prices on the internet right now? Rampage looks good? All right, cool. Hey, you know what? It sounds like you're an artistic and sort of like creative person. These panels just pop off. You could just like spray paint it in white if you want to have a black and white PC. Like the right side panel is just metal. You could like paint some of these things. It's just don't leave the parts anywhere near it. You got to be able to take the panels off to do it. Or just sticker bomb it or something. Do not do that. Bad advice. Okay, I'm saying someone who knows how to do it won't actually put so much paint that it'll clog up the mesh. Okay? And I actually didn't say that. I'm thinking that. Thin coat. What? If you put a light coat, it won't. These are big holes on here. It's not fine mesh. I'm looking at it. I looked at it before I said that, Jeff. You're telling me it's never been done, really? Okay. Well, Jeff is saying don't do it. How, are you bad at painting, Jeff? Is that why you're saying that? Someone else shouldn't do it? Because if you know what you're doing, it can be pretty. It can be a thin. It won't do much to the perforation. 3 very light layers, 3 feet apart. Okay. So I'm adding my code to the end of this, or adding my tag to the end of this, see if it'll add the code for you automatically. But let's put this in the cart, see what it comes out to. It's going to be below budget, which is great. It was... Hold on, what was the code for this one? It was Lab 100. So we're going to try stacking the code, see what it comes out to. So my code is SWARM. That should take off like 50 bucks. $45. And then we go LAB 100. And it's another $100 off. $1354.99. That 155 bucks, that's a monitor right there. Or something. It's insane. It's insanely good. Guys, I'm not, and I saw someone joking that I'm a SkyTech fanboy. I give these guys crap all the time. It's just that they support their customers really well. That's shown in the Discord by community members reporting back on their experiences, and they have really good price. What do I do? What do I do? I don't care if it makes me look bad. If this is right for somebody, I'm going to say it. It's just like, I don't know what to tell you. We're talking about, this is a PC for a lot of, this is a heavy workload for this PC. It needed to be max price to performance, and that's what you're getting here. I'm sorry. So let's go back to this. Oh, let me give you the codes real quick. Oh, here. Oh, I can't do that on YouTube. Well, yes, thank you. Customer support is definitely a must, especially for a newbie like me. Well, Artemis, if you're wondering, like, is he BSing right now? Oh, sure, he's got a coupon code. Of course he's saying they're good. I have like a dozen coupon codes for a dozen different SIs. That's not the issue. It's more like, well, if you want to see for yourself the kind of supports that SkyTech has, don't listen to me and don't listen to SkyTech. Go to the Discord. There's a group of channels under SI testimonials, and SkyTech has its dedicated channel there. You can read feedback from actual community members who bought from SkyTech. There you go. I'm not a shill. It's just, if they're lining them up like this, what do I do? We could do that, John. I don't have another another build to do at this moment. But hold on, Artemis. Let me do codes. My code is Swarm SWRM. If that's not added automatically, and LAB100. Make sure to put both of those codes in. Okay, you just enter a code. It should pop up there. Then you delete the one here, enter the next code, hit apply. As you can see right there, it should work for you. I don't know. I tried to make him not a fanboy. I come in here and troll him. Well, I mean, it's fine. You have a hobby. I'm proud of you. But no, it's just there have been times you guys have seen it where there was a time where Build Redux was the best deal and had built a pretty solid reputation. They backtracked. They ruined their website. They ruined their business model, so they're not it anymore. But there was a while during shortages and stuff too. Like Cyberpowers had their turn when they actually had kind of okay customer service, and then they ditched that, so I ditched them. Build Redux had a point where it was just constant. Like there were 4 of them per stream, basically, because they're the only ones who had anything. And there were cycles like that during the shortages where but also they were solid. I communicated with them. Everything was good. And that's just gone away. So there's going to be stretches where one SI is going to be sort of in the high volume space, right? Where you're selling, you put out a solid number of PCs, right? So you have, it's different. Sort of different. That's its own culture kind of thing, its own kind of vibe, I guess. Where one company will pull ahead of another. I have a gripe about the Rampage. No lizard, no ape, no wolf, or other animals on it. I think those were the only 3, but that is good. I like that. Most GPUs were lucky to get 10% off. We do not get 45% off parts, I'll tell you that much. I won't say the exact margins, but it's pretty low on these type of price to performance systems. Oh, 100%. Like, okay, let's do this. We're gonna do this. Just as was suggested by chat, we're gonna take a look at what this looks like in a PC part picker list. We don't know the actual motherboard. It is a full-on B650 motherboard, okay? So that's a way to save some on the build, but that was a very popular motherboard chipset. So let's go ahead and start a new one here. CPU was a 7700X. Right there. Okay. CPU cooler. What do you got in here? Here, let's bring this out here. No, we don't need to do all that. You guys can't see the list of parts, but I can, and that's all. That's okay. Okay, cooler is a 360 millimeter AIO. Let's just grab a Thermalright one because that, I don't know, it's pretty cheap. Thermalright's pretty cheap, but this is evening the playing field a little bit, I guess. I don't know. We'll go B650 for the motherboard and go with a fairly low price version of that. Not $99 low price, but sure, $129. I don't know. You guys don't no, it doesn't say B650M-C. Jeff, it better not be that. If it's that, we're gonna have some words because this says B650. If you're putting in B650M motherboards while listing B650 chipset and form, that's ATX. That's full ATX. This is for a streaming system. It needs the PCIe slots, potentially. So y'all better not be doing that because that would be actual false advertising for your product. Is that something y'all are doing? I'd like to know. Okay, thank you. You freaked me out very thoroughly there. I've recommended stuff like this, builds like this a lot. And yeah. Settle this. No. I doubt it. It's just with the CTO of the company being like, it's probably a micro ATX. That freaked me out. Jeff, in case you didn't know, that is what the M stands for, by the way. Wow. I know you know, but I wondered for a second. Okay. He just said, I'm not the boss of you like 15 minutes ago. Then he pulled out his boss voice. No. That was my content creator voice when someone potentially made a liar out of me. I don't like that thought. Or a person voice when someone just, not even the content creator side of things. I just don't like that. Can't tell sometimes if Jet be trolling or truthing. I don't think he would troll that. I think that was just, so it's 32 gigs DDR5 6000. Don't know the cast latency. That's okay. It didn't list it. But that's okay. It is RGB, so we'll take that into account. DDR5 6000. 32 gigs. 1 second. I stressed myself out. Didn't mean ill intent. It was a little more stern than what you usually sound like. Yeah, no, that's like that's one of the things you don't play fast and loose with, because this right here is all I have to work with, and if I can't trust it, I was already thinking like, okay, I got to figure out another place that has similar pricing. I won't be able to find it, but I'd like to know that it is what it says it is. It's that see because that's the kind of thing that you saw. I have PTSD. I don't mean to like minimize the real PTSD is awful. Okay, it's a trigger for me. It goes back to light and them saying that someone was going to get one thing and them getting another. Ever since then, just the thought of that with another company, I'm like ready to jump ship and get out, because so many people were affected by that. And like I watched a bunch of people lose their jobs, way more people lose their warranties when that company inevitably shut down because of practices like that. So yeah, I was triggered a little bit. So my apologies for sounding a little too stern there. I would never troll anyone. That's the only drawback with SkyTech not showing exact parts. Settle this. You'll find that with high volume sellers, that's across the board. That is very, very common with any SI that sells thousands of PCs a month. You have to buy so many that motherboard distributors can't possibly guarantee you that exact kind of motherboard every time. You need to have the chipset at least, so people know a minimum guaranteed feature set. So I'm not upset about that. I wish I could know like the cast latency of the RAM, but I'm going to go ahead and throw in this Kingston Fury Beast. No, hold on. Let's go by price here. It's a little high price for what we're looking for. It's probably something like Teen Group. This would work right here. DDR5 6000 CL36 is probably what it is. I wish we could. Yeah, it's not possible. Oh, screen. Sorry, my bad. I appreciate that, Force Gaming Network. Thank you. It's true though. I do fine. It's okay. What I mean is, it's my preferred way of being able to pay the bills with helping you guys save money too, rather than you having to pull out of your pockets just to keep that guy that yells about computers able to yell about computers. It's much better this way. Cast latency is like 65. Awesome. Okay. Great. It says B650. Yeah. You'll see that a lot on these Zintac. And whenever people are like, I wonder how they can have these prices. That's one of the ways. B650 is a fantastic way to go for more budget-oriented builds. But yeah. Michelle, what's up? Yeah, Wednesday stream because I was too tired yesterday. Vero, thank you for the reassurance. I appreciate that. Forgot the word think. It's okay. Mike is basically what I was just talking about. It's the volume of parts you have to order. Distributors cannot allocate that many of one kind of motherboard, or even get necessarily that one kind of motherboard consistently. So you shouldn't claim that it's going to have a part when it's kind of likely you're going to run out of those if you sell thousands of PCs a month, or tens of thousands of PCs a month, honestly. This was one. Okay. I will say real quick, if you're still with me, Artemis, are you still here? Let me check if you're in chat. At art. Okay. You're doing graphic design and you have art in your name. That's cool. Anyway, Artemis, the one downside to this PC is the storage capacity. Now, it is acceptable for a PC that is around $1,500, or for you $1,350 or so, whatever the price came out to have 1 terabyte of storage. My minimum is if it's 2,000 or more, it needs 2 terabytes. Like and that honestly is kind of shifting, like moving down in price. Like if it's like $1,800, I'd like to see 2 terabytes. 16, it's getting there. But you're looking at $1,350 or so for the PC. A terabyte is okay. But adding storage is, as you said, you were open to doing that, to upgrading your PC. That's one of the upgrades you're going to want to do sooner rather than later. And it is the easiest upgrade there is, adding storage. Vaclav Marek, what's going on? I hope I said that somewhat correctly. Hi, want to ask before I submit the form so I don't waste your time. Would you be willing to design a workstation for CFD simulations? For ANSYS Fluent, to be exact. I'm not going to pretend I know what that is. I like to for people to think I'm smart, but I'll never pretend in order for that belief to come to be. So I don't know what that. It's not grabbing anything in my brain here when you say that. So can you explain? I can look up if there are resources out there, sources out there that will help me figure out what the minimum specs you need are, and we can fit it in the budget. I'll absolutely help you with that. Meridan, unless you're Dell, then you know crappy proprietary boards. Yeah, because they make them, they know how much supply they have available. Exactly, Dan. What's up, buddy? How's it going? So when you buy parts in the kind of volumes we do, many times manufacturers can't even keep up. So when we need 20 to 30,000 motherboards a month, we can't guarantee the exact model. So we have to buy boards with similar prices and features. The monthly demands through the year swing so much per month that the manufacturers can't support the kind of assembly lines that would be needed for the highest volumes in slow months. Insane. It's insane. The number of PCs that companies like iBuyPower and Skytech sell. This leads to radically differing volume demands, and then it takes 30 days on a boat to even get here if they try to surge to meet demands. Yikes. For physics, fluid dynamics. Okay, when I saw FD, I thought maybe it was some kind of fluid simulation, but I didn't want to guess. I'm still claiming that I maybe had an idea, and I shouldn't do that. But yeah, okay. I would send all the requirements. There are benchmarks and recs and such. Sure. You can't post links in chat though, so you need to find a way to do that. Links are not allowed in chat because of things like spammers and things like that we have gotten a few times. I'll send in the form then sometime soonish. I'll explain everything in it. If you have a link to resources, there is a blank space at the end of the form where you can put a link. So you can do that. How much have tariffs affected prices? Well, for a long time, they were affecting them very strongly. Then they were lifted for 3 months, and we're sort of seeing the benefit of that now. But I think some of them are back in effect, maybe? Perhaps. God, it's so up in the air. And that's one of the reasons that it's such a problem, is the uncertainty. If tariffs went back up, then we're going to notice the price. We're going to get hit with it in about a month or two once the shelves have cleared of the non-tariffed goods. Storage, 1 terabyte. It's probably a Kingston NV3, so we'll select that. Something like that. Now, the 5070. Asus Prime 5070, 523.79. Maybe we can actually find the same case. This is the Montech. No, not the Montech Sky 2. Am I looking at the wrong PC? I was looking at the Azure 2. It was very similar specs, though. But we're going to get the correct one. The Rampage. There we go. Oops, your card is empty. Shush. I'm here right now. There we go. It's not the XR. It's a Cougar. Hey, Jeff, can I give you credit for something here and give you your props? Thank you for starting to include the actual case manufacturer and their model name for the case. That is much appreciated. Unfortunately, we don't have a price here. I don't see an S either. Maybe the S stands for Skytech. It is many manufacturers either eat the tariff or split it. Some even adjust the price listed so that with the tariffs, the prices remain stabilized. The ones from Vietnam are like 20% plus another 50% for shipping from Vietnam. It has obviously affected the prices, but not to the degree many would assume or claim. Also, these parts come from all over, and where the tariffs get applied varies by the amount of parts from a certain region or where they are assembled. Jeff, you're full of all sorts of useful information today. Thank you. So I guess I'll just pick the Cougar Uniface and try to add a price myself. Let's see. It's looking like about 80 bucks. $80. Okay. And what is this one? This one is the 850 watt power supply. You know what? It might even be this one. This one had a solid rating. It's the one I actually chose for the Black Friday PCs, but we don't have a price here. I will find that. Let's see, 100 and that's eBay. No price. What was the original price of this thing? I'm going to have to go to a review to find this. Price USD 114. What am I missing here? I worked at a cabinet store and our order for cabinets are like 80K and just 20K of that is shipping from Vietnam. Good Lord. Well, it's better than the other day when Jeff was just rage baiting you the whole time. It worked too. Yeah, it did. It makes for good content, I guess. You should do it again now that he complimented you. True, you might be sounding a little fanboyish. We can't have that. He must remain neutral. Look, it's called positive reinforcement. It's like, you know, you say roll over, your dog rolls over, you give it a treat. There you go. You can't tell me I haven't hit y'all with the straight up constructive criticism. Aggressively. I found a shard of plastic from the blister pack for a RAM kit shoved behind a heat spreader for RAM and just been like, are y'all serious right now? Do you remember my crash out, Jeff, when you had the pump above at the top of the loop in the Vision build? Or was it the Vision build? Where was it? It might have been the Vision build. Like, the thing is, when things are going well, I'm you know, you'll get the best side. When things are like, oh, this is bad for consumers, why are you doing this? Now the gloves come off, and it's just straight up like, no. Bad. You stop that. Bad. My wallet would not be able to handle a 5090 Ti. Do you think we'll see a 5090 Ti? No. They didn't do a 4090 Ti. They're probably not going to do a 5090 Ti. The 5090 Ti is just the RTX Pro 6000. That's the 5090 Ti. It's already twice the price of the 5080. Why do you want a more expensive one? So there we go. This is the build if you had to build it yourself with no warranty, without the operating system. That's not included in the price here. That's at least, depending on how you get it, for your license, another $20. So it's almost equal price with the Skytech system. But that comes with an operating system. Shipping is free. It is built. It is tested. It is warranted. This, you are the warranty. And that's only because right now you can get GPUs for close to MSRP. If it was a couple months ago, this 5070 would be like $650. What's up, Ghost Poner? How's it going? I hate to say it, I'm not Italian. Probably could have used a little bit of that heritage. I'd probably have be better. I'd probably be make. I don't know how. I don't know what to say. What do you say to someone who says, "Hey, Mambo Italians"? Is it a meme? I don't get it. AMD CEO is attending CES this time. Something big is coming. That's true, but it's probably for Zen 6. No, I'm thinking it might not be for GPUs. It's more likely for Zen 6. Will, what's going on? Welcome. You think it'll be a 9080 XT? Here's the thing, Vero. AMD themselves said we're not doing a high-end GPU, so I don't see why they would. Maybe. AMC has skipped CES the last few years. So, well, not the last few years. Last year, I believe Dr. Lisa Su was there at CES 2023. Well, no, that'd be 2024. Because CES 2025. No, yeah, I guess the last two CESs. So yeah, you're right. I don't remember. It's one or the other. Yeah, so something's on the way. I just hope it's not some weird product they're excited about and just falls flat with us. My wallet definitely can't handle that. My wallet can't handle if they make something really good. To be completely honest, we probably only make about $210 on this system, but we eat the shipping, which depending on where you are, could be like $50, $60. Yep. The free shipping is really just, it greases the wheels quite a bit. It really does. Thank you for that price list. I got some perspective from having part picker and pre-built prices. Yeah. Really, the thing is, we can't really, if we looked at this, and like, this is insane that the price of just parts is so close. But you have to remember, it's because of that extra $100 coupon, right? But our tendency when we see a company making a profit is to immediately get incensed at it and get angry. No, that's the goal. They're supposed to make money. If the company doesn't make money and you bought a PC from them for zero profit for them, You could say bye to your warranty. They're not going to stick around very long. They gotta keep the lights on, pay their bills. They gotta be able to buy more parts to make more computers. They have to pay their employees, take care of their employees. You got to pay them like everything. Companies exist to make a profit, and man, y'all, it seems Skytech just kind of gave up on that. Maybe 250 if we did a huge purchase of components. Yeah. Well, most pre-builts are not making that much off the top of the on top of what the parts cost. I can't say. It's going to be different from one SI to another, Ghost Poner. Obviously, I mean, when you look at the volume that Skytech does, it makes it possible to have a smaller margin per PC. That's economics. That's why you pay more. That's one of the main reasons you pay more money for a boutique build, because they're way lower volume. They got to make more profit in order to keep things running. At the same time, they have less overhead, fewer employees, things like that. It doesn't scale exactly like that, though. Why can't they just bring back the XTX line? Michelle, that was a 1-year thing. Have they ever had, Jeff, you would know, have they, or you would remember if they did, I don't remember. Was there ever an XTX GPU before the 7000 series? Volume solves all problems and also brings in new problems. That's exactly what I was going to say. That's what the $100 off. Yeah. Try to keep our prices around where you can build it yourself. And remember, we have to pay $100 for Windows. That's crazy. At the volume you guys are doing, how is it that they're still charging you that much, Jeff? How? It's software. It's a software license. Are y'all just really bad at negotiating with Microsoft? At that volume? I mean, you don't really have another choice. Yay, monopolies. But Artemis, yeah, happy to help out. I don't think we've had anybody else fill out the form, so we're good right now. I just need to put your link in here. That's the one. Okay. Okay. I cannot comment on this. Okay. More products, more problems. I don't know. It's just SKUs. It's just storage space. It's no big deal. Anybody could do it, Alucard. Anybody. Probably. So it was a one and done. Oh, no. This is our second one of the night. We took care of Celadus earlier. 300K a month in just in Windows keys, LMAO. Yep. They must, like, Microsoft has got to be like, well, Microsoft is not going to voluntarily be like, let's make less money. No. That's, again, not how businesses work. Oh, Jeff, you'll love this. Mike was here earlier laughing about it. So he had to send me another box of stuff for the build. Like 360mm fans, just different things. It had crickets in it. I opened it up and there were like, I don't know if it's like, they weren't big. They were very small. But they were just like in there very confused. They're like, this has been a weird couple of days. They were just kind of like, none of them jumped out, nothing. I closed it immediately. I was like, okay, I'll release you guys later. I got to go live. I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? This is an opportunity. So, if Jeff, you seem pretty optimistic about this. You see. I mean, I don't know if it's sure they weren't bed bugs. They were pretty big for that. They were like this. They were like about that big. That'd be a little too big for bed bugs. Anyways, it seems like this is going to happen. So, guys, if I make one video at Skytech HQ, what video would y'all like to see? Just a tour? What would you guys want out of that? What I think would be kind of cool would be if I had to go through their build process. The tour, of course, would be awesome. But what if I had to go through their build process? There you go. Poopy John John's got it. There you go. John, you got it. If I have to do each station or whatever, that'd be kind of cool. You want to see a one-on-one with Jeff? I don't think either of us are very fast builders. So, nah, I don't think that would be. Also, the time that I wanted Jeff to do an interview with Jeff, he wasn't too keen on it. He then said yes, but then we didn't have time for it. Lol, I would win at the... Okay, Jeff, if it was a contest, I wouldn't be lackadaisical about it like when it's my own stream, okay? And I've basically committed to stream for 6 hours, all right? I can build decently quickly if I need to. Mikey, it was 2 hours to get the motherboard in. Get it right. 2 hours. A tour assembly process, how they test each machine and their inventory for sure. That sounds like multiple videos, Alec. That sounds like either 1 hour and a half long video or multiple videos. I'm not GN. I don't have the audience size to pull off a documentary. You could roast him. You can only roast someone if they care what you think of them. I don't think Jeff cares if I try to roast him. I could literally build a PC blindfolded. You don't say. That sounds like content. Easily. Okay. Bray versus Jeff blindfolded. I've done it hundreds of times when I worked for HP. What are you talking about? You actually did that? Or are you joshing me right now? Bray wins and Jeff hangs a giant portrait of Bray in his office. Mikey, you're saying that like he doesn't already have one of me there? Employee of the month. Just kidding. Employee of the month. Y'all didn't know I was just an employee there all the time. Hey, you keep having insane deals and like taking care of people. Yeah, I'm going to keep recommending it. It's just watch out. Someone else might end up hearing that and just being like, oh, that's all I had to do? Okay. No, it's not. It's just I've looked around. It's incomparable right now when it comes to price performance. So it's whatever. And if Jeff wins, he still hangs the portrait. Well, I mean, then it's a win-win for me, isn't it? What do I get out of that? So a tour and a build, says Michelle. Free Windows keys from Skytech, says Vero. Does Jeff have hair? Yeah. What does that have to do with it? I'm more aerodynamic. You're right. So Bray versus Jeff blindfolded. I don't know how I feel about that. And also, so I've seen LTT do this. And each time, the blindfolded person had a helper. Just giving advice or instructions or whatever. If they were like off by... There are certain problems with this idea. And that is generally socketing the CPU. Because you had to line up the little... I mean, it's keyed, so you can kind of feel if it's not going in. But if you do it wrong... That's either a motherboard or a CPU or both messed up. Usually just the motherboard. Sadly, I can't really show the build assembly process. It's something that I don't want our competitors seeing. We do it quite differently. What? Oh, okay. Well, why would... Okay. I mean, I don't know how we would do a tour then. I could tell you if you socketed a CPU wrong by the way it sounds. What, the cracking plastic? Oh, it's real special. I mean, if you put down the ILM, is what I mean. If you push down the ILM, it's plastic just cracking and flying through the air. Now, the way the pins sound with their tension, get the hell out of here. I need to have a buzzer for when you're BSing. But the problem is my stream would sound like this. That'd be the whole audio for the whole stream. Test me when you're here. Oh my God. Look, when you socket it correctly, it'll have a solid sound of slipping into the keyed socket. Of course. Of course it will. If Bray wins and Jeff has to shave his head. Jeff doesn't go on camera like I do. I don't know. The pins crunch when you put it in wrong. Okay. That sounds awful. I don't think I've ever improperly socketed a CPU. So that's the thing, Jeff. What you're telling me right now is you've incorrectly socketed CPUs so many times that you're intimately familiar with the sound of it. You're not inspiring a lot of confidence here, bud. Yeah, but he'll know, and everyone that asks him what happened to his hair will have to hear the story about how he lost to you. We could do a co-stream, or Juan or something. FGN, you have to understand this is the CTO for Skytech, but he's not like a suit wearing corporate only kind of guy. He's a PC builder. Like the PCs he's built he's shown me a few of the ones he's built and they're like insane. But he also worked just building PCs in an assembly line before, so he knows his stuff. But also he likes to troll, so we just never know. I've heard it happen many, many times. There is zero chance I would lose. I don't care if I lose or win. I just think it would be fun. Like, you sound a little too adamant, dude. A little too much. To me, I don't think a race is... I think the more interesting thing is someone building a PC blindfolded. And I'll have you know that, yes, I did lose for the speed build, the Cooler Master speed build thing, but it wasn't by a wide margin. I can move very fast if I need to. Just give me a stack of still boxed parts. Rushwork creates rush results. Results are the only results are that matter in that case are like who wins, I guess. But to me, it's more interesting just anyone. It doesn't have to be a contest thing with building blindfolded. I think it would just be fun to do. Okay. Look, Jeff, I'm going to tell you something. I'm probably like the worst person to try to competitively trash talk because I don't care. Like, I'm not going to be like, this is not a UFC weigh-in. I don't care. Like, if you win, that's great. I'm happy for you. I'm not that competitive of a person. I'm not. Unfortunately, I hate to say it. Oh, man. So the whole time, really, it should have been for every one of your messages there. That's great. Okay. What time is it? 11:17. You know what? I gotta say, I feel like I'm getting good, and I don't mean to drag it out if someone doesn't want to be here and they're just getting help and stuff. I mean, if you're having a good time while I'm helping you out, good. And if the information's helpful, good. But I feel like I'm getting better at, because, you know, we're still at a time where it's not as many people getting help, except for a couple exceptions in terms of a stream where I help out 5 or 6 people. So I'm getting better at making that last throughout the stream, I guess. But see, Jeff, you can't do that. You can't now that I'm like, now that I told you, like, I don't care, I'm not competitive. You can't turn around and be like, oh, I would win. I just don't care either. In fact, I don't care more than you do. You're so competitive. Now you're trying to beat me at not being competitive. Stop it. Get some help. I need to have that as a soundbite. That'd be great. And it'll be just for you, Jeff. It's who cares about who doesn't care the most. Deal, you win. I'm so confused right now. I'm so lucky that, like, I'm not providing any useful info or do anything useful right now. I've still got like 60 of y'all here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all. Even during slow times. Hey, thank you. Those of you who come here consistently, y'all are the real MVPs. Thank you so much for making y'all make this fun. I appreciate you. It's who cares about who doesn't care the most. You were starting to say something before you started to care again. I hear Jeff. Okay. I see you had to change the spelling on that so it wouldn't get caught again. HP. So nearly as bad, but they're still in operation. So good for them, I guess. Oh, right. Sure. I forgot about that. Let me go to your link real quick. I think the thing in what you showed me before, I was like, why this power supply with this? It was like a 9060 XT with a 1000-watt power supply. I was like, oh, okay. But I don't know if you were just testing stuff at the time. Did you give me a link? I don't think you gave me a link yet. Start on the assembly line building compacts. You should run Fortnite against Jeff, but Fortnite Festival? I don't know what that means. I don't play Fortnite. I tried it. I tried. Very early on. Didn't like it. I didn't mess with it. First off, I'm not that great at third-person shooters. I used to be good at first-person, and then I wasn't. But yeah. Has Gamers Nexus done a video on SkyTech? Oh, yeah. And it's settled this. You have to understand, it's one of the reasons, one of the pieces of proof I have that Gamers Nexus' system does not work. They did their initial review of SkyTech was for Gamers Nexus in any way, glowing. Like they were like, we do recommend SkyTech. And it's like, the title was like, finally a good one or something like that. Like they loved it. And so they're like, yes, we based on this one system, this one review, yeah, we recommend SkyTech. And then they did another one, and there were like some problems with it. And they were like, oh, now we don't recommend SkyTech. And I was like, wait a minute. Hold up. What? That's not how it works. I'm the guy that rage quits because I spawn and I just die. Oh, yeah, that is awful. Basically, they got good customer service from SkyTech because SkyTech was just like, hey, send it back. We'll get it all fixed up for you right away. We're really sorry about that. And then, but they didn't really count that in the review because that happens. Mistakes happen or problems happen with your PC. That doesn't mean that's a bad company. How they respond to that situation is what makes a company good or bad. And their immediate response was like, "Hey, we'll take the thing back. We'll get it all fixed up for you. We do apologize." Like that was it. But GN was like, "No, don't buy from them because bad." Okay, so because of that, you cannot a PC is a box full of variables. Okay, and any one of those parts can go bad, or there can be a problem in the build. Whatever, even if you test it and everything. Like this was during the time of 13th gen and 14th gen Intel. It was somewhere in there. And those things just hit 100 degrees Celsius, like at the drop of a hat. So it made it harder to stress test them, I imagine. But anyways, there was a fan in backwards. Then there was shipping damage. Yeah. Regardless, it showed an inherent problem with the way, like for me, I'll look at an SI website, I'll review a PC, but I don't secret shop. First off, I can't afford it. But secondly, I don't secret shop because it doesn't mean anything with PCs. It doesn't. Because if you get a good PC, cool. That doesn't mean they'll all be good. And if you get a bad PC, okay, that doesn't mean they'll all be bad. It's too expensive to buy a good number for actual control for testing. Out of 50 PCs we ordered, 3 of them had issues. Whatever. You can't do that. So my method is, hey, you're going to send this to me. So, we can assume this is going to be a best case scenario, or you can take it off the shelf, whatever the case is. We see problems, whatever, we'll look at them. But as for finding out whether the customer service and tech support are good, RMAs go well, things like that, that's you guys. You guys tell me in the Discord with SI testimonials whether we can trust the company or not. And Gamers Nexus doesn't have anything like that. The only reviews they can look at are from public sources where someone can go on and say anything. Linus hasn't yet, but I do welcome it. Yeah, I got pretty flamed for saying 90C was okay, but 90C was in stress testing on 13th gen when BIOS were still treating them like nuclear reactors. If we somehow failed, we would just learn from it. Yep. Sent link. Okay. Oh, my brain. Okay, hold on. Ow. Hold on. Okay, I'll explain myself. I'll just say this. There are 2 kinds of people in the world. People who look at people who look at this and are like, that's fine, and people who look at this and their brain just wants to explode because it's almost lined up but not quite. Like, it's a choice for sure. My brain is like, wow, okay. it's a vibe. Okay. And then so you have levels from 1 to 7. Yeah, some people like it, some people won't. Yeah. Anyways, but that's just an aesthetic thing. We're looking at functionality here. So basically, level 1 PC, you assume it's going to be cheapest one. Key specifications, just CPU here. Build. So these are pre-configured systems, right? So we select a Foundation, an Essence, and a Dominion. That is, I saw that in the thing, but it's pretty esoteric. Obviously, never fun to get flamed like GN did to us, but I respect the criticism. We did change things in response where we genuinely dropped the ball. I mean, here's the thing, Jeff. Like, I've given criticism in a more constructive manner, and I got the same effect. You don't have to be a douchebag to affect change in the world. You know what I mean? I was angry at some points. That was just legitimate, but he used the custom builder to automate. Okay. Balance, craftsmanship, and what does that mean? Okay, let's just say that I'm a non-knowledgeable person, right? Someone who's getting their first PC, doesn't watch PC content, but wants to get into PC gaming because all my buddies tell me PC gaming is the best way to go. This might be a little bit too vague without any like starting prices or anything like that. it might be a little bit too vague for someone who's brand new to this stuff. Like key specifications, and I just see a CPU. There's no like explanation. Hey, pick this if your budget is around this much, or if this is what you're trying to do with your PC or anything like that. So like when I look at this, I don't, it's sometimes as someone who is a knowledgeable PC person, I like to think I have to take myself out of that sort of mentality and approach these. I've learned to do as I've looked at configurators for years now. I have to approach it as someone who is new to this and see how it might be for them. So if I look at this, I might be like, what does this mean? There's no context. You know what I mean? There's no explanation here as to what that might mean. Balance. Essence is shadow, pure, or divine. Okay, so that's a black PC, a white build, or a lot of RGB. What if we go pure? Let's hit that. And Dominion is the GPU. Okay. So this is a different approach. And look, I love a different approach. It may need some refining though. And by that, I mean refining for the user experience in terms of clarity. Like this is anytime someone is coming in to spend hundreds or thousands of hard-earned dollars, the more you can grease the wheels on that, make it easier for them to know that they're making the right choice, the better. Let's say 5060 Ti, and then create. The rugged oracle of cobalt. So you're talking, this is like crafting items in an MMO or something, right? Is that what we're talking about? That's cool. I love that concept, okay? I have a World of Warcraft tattoo. But something explaining what they're getting into, what they're going to be doing would be critical, I think. And then for each of the choices, flavor text. You could even style it. If you get an artist, you could style them like Magic the Gathering cards or have it look like something like that. You know, that would be awesome. Now, I see Celadus here, like 25, 27. You're talking about the boutique builder among boutique builders, okay? We have an artist over here. That's what we're talking about. And also, a lot of this stuff, this is not budget RAM. This is Trident Z5 Royal. Trident Z5 Royal. I don't think matches up very well with a CPU that is 3 or 4 generations back and a lower mid-tier GPU. So you'll want to have maybe more budget RAM. We're looking at what is the power supply? It's a 750 watt power supply, but a Seasonic Vertex. Seasonic is going to cost a little more than like a budget power supply. Because it's a K-SKU processor, it's a Z790. That's one of the downsides of Intel, right? Because like if you want to get a K-SKU processor for gaming, you have to get a Z-class board because then it has the overclocking capabilities. There's some, yeah, it's going to raise the cost. There's some things here that are just raising cost. 2 terabyte 990 Evo. Well, it's a system over $2,000. It should have that. It should have 2 terabytes. But this is a high-end Gen 4 drive. Fantex fans, Fantex case, XT Pro Ultra White. That is, to be fair, a lower priced case, but there's part markups and there's a build fee added in as well. So this is just also you're getting cable mod sleeved cables, mod flex sleeve cables. Like there are plenty of choices for cable extensions. Cable mod being one of the most expensive but highest quality. So that's what you're looking at. You have to remember that. Yeah, and sick PCs. Yeah, after a Skytech session, or where I did 2 builds for Skytech, or I looked at 2 PCs for Skytech. You have to remember, the reason I've been on a Skytech tear lately is because nobody can beat their prices. There are dozens and dozens of PC companies. And right now, Skytech has the best prices. This is a boutique builder. So I should have prefaced it with that. Also, a much lower volume seller, okay? Skytech's putting out tens of thousands of PCs a month. Try just tens instead. So there has to be a higher margin for that. Fries Guy Zero website /app. This is sickpcs.com. Let's try a higher end build. Oh, wrong button. Hi. Let's go with a. What are these symbols here? And again, aesthetic stuff is gonna be subjective. I see this and I'm like, this could be lined up. I don't know why it's not. But if you were like, yo, this is kind of cool, this is your site. You do what you want. 9700X. All right, let's see. Build our foundation. See, I don't. What if I want balance and craftsmanship? I don't understand. Fries Guy, again, it is sickpcs.com. Second is the NV5, XT Pro Ultra NV5, and then that looks like the what is it? X2. Yeah. Sickpcs.com. So we're choosing a case here. Okay. We'll still go balance. I like the XT Pro Ultra. And then the essence is going to be the aesthetic of the build. Shadow, pure, or divine. You know what? Let's go with a lot of RGB. Choose your divine path. You go black or white, right? Okay, let's go with the black PC this time. And then you choose your GPU. Okay. I mean, I get it. I do get it. 90. Let's see. Now we'll go with a 9070 XT. And then you just create. The sparking fortitude of amber. Okay. The name generator, the magic item name generator is pretty sick. Like, I do like that. And look at this. 2126 for a boutique build with a 9700X and a 9700 XT. 9070 XT, excuse me. That's what it should have been called, 9700, but whatever, AMD. Now, the thing is, hold on. Wait, where's my GPU? Am I missing something here? I don't see the GPU on the list. Am I stupid? Is it just right in front of me? Yeah, I don't see the GPU. Where's that at? Okay. But also, a 750 watt for a 9070 XT? No. That's too low. I mean, you had what? What was it? What brand was it that said they had a 9070 XT that they recommended a 1000 watt power supply for or something? Yeah, I would go at least 850. So there is some refining to do here. Yeah, the names are cool. I really like that because that's going to give somebody a custom name for their PC. That's just cool. Right off the bat. Another cool boutique builder I actually dig is Ironside. I haven't heard from Ironside in the longest time. They went radio silent, and I don't know why. And we were planning something too. Refresh quick and redo this. I mean, it's very fast, so let's do it. Like, for sure, this is a really fast auto configurator kind of thing. Balance. Divine. Shadow. And then Dominion was the 9070 XT. Oh, actually, this gave the same name. Okay, how did we do that? Okay, I guess it's not that. I guess it's just from those things. It just has a few options. There it is. It's there now. And okay, the price makes sense now. Okay. Anyway, it's a cool concept. It is a cool concept. I think some clarity needs to be given. All right, Arcade V. Got to get after making that home office in the morning so I can get my SkyTech out of the box and fire it up for the first time. All right, you got it. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out. What's up, Tamay? How you doing? Welcome. You always find the bugs. I mean, look, you run it a few times, it'll happen. I guess. I don't know. That was pretty early. That was my second run. Arctic Freezer 36 for a 9700X. It might be a little on the... I mean, they did improve temperatures with the 9000 series, and they focused on efficiency too, but I don't know. I'd probably go AIO anyway, but yeah. Anyways, it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. I would expect a higher watt, like at least 850 for a 9070 XT. And maybe a little bit more cooling for a 9700X. Like if it was 9600X, and yeah, but or 90, yeah, I don't know. But whatever. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the concept. I really like the concept. Just try to go through it, or maybe have somebody go through it in your family or something like that. If they're that is not real PC savvy, and see what they think. Or a few friends. Have a few friends. Get feedback from as many people as you can. Like, hey, check this out. Just try it. See how you feel about buying a PC like this. What would you think? That kind of thing. Anyways. Pretty cool, though. I like it. Okay, let me see here. Go back here. And here. Here. What are they doing? Sorry, I'm just looking at something real quick. You know what? This is on topic here. Okay. All right, Brad, I'm going to shut down. All right, you got it. Thanks, John. It's funny how he misses the chats where I was not trolling. No, I saw them. It's just... I actually responded to another cool boutique builder that actually dig his Ironside. I responded to that. Oh yeah, well, we were talking about the GN thing. No, that's good stuff. Sorry to disappoint you, John, but there may not be time for that. So we're going to kick it over to Liger Zero, who's playing Borderlands 4, just like we were talking about earlier, and we'll see how it's running for Liger. I think I've done enough. Jeff will chat more about the potential video thing. I want to kind of get, if we can, I'd like to get things ironed out, because it's coming up quick. Well, not quick, but you know, the sooner I can do it, the better. Get things planned out. Okay, yeah, let's go to Liger Zero Gaming, who is playing Borderlands 4, and that will be fun. It does look like a cool game. I never got into Borderlands. I always kind of wanted to. Yeah, we should figure something out. Okay. I'm sorry I brought it up on stream. I just didn't know what else to. I was wanting to farm for some ideas and discuss it a little bit, and it led to some. Like you said, it's good content because then we had that whole thing where you were like acting overly competitive. It was great. Acting, totally. But yeah, also Mikey, again, very cool concept on the builder. I'm looking forward to how that turns out. Okay, let's go ahead and get that started. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow night. Is it too soon? But no, tomorrow night, more PC matchmaking. We'll be back. And I've got some crickets to release and some stuff to do with this PC here. So I'll catch y'all tomorrow. And until then, take care.
Let's go, nerds!